Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. We got a special guest.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Jon Buscemi
Who the hell's that?
is here.
Exactly. I'd be saying the same thing.
Are you kidding me, dude? Jon Buscemi.
I feel like this is the part of the trajectory of the show, like the first year or two where it's like, the oddball episode. You know what I mean? I'm that. Like, I'm the exactly. I'm like the one like what? Like
But
okay.
you
and then people start to question it a bit. Like I don't know about this show anymore. Yeah. No, that's not
But
true.
meanwhile, your episode has like 300,000 views.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully. No, but that's the best thing about skateboarding. It's a tree.
Yeah,
Right.
That's right.
The core is the trunk.
Yep.
But there's a lot of
branches, a lot of
branches
leaves
out there.
Yeah.
A lot of roots holding it up.
You get up to 500 episodes here. There's going to be a lot of randos like me on it.
For sure. Yeah.
You're not a random.
No.
Man. Well, listen, we're gonna find out. Fucking Jon Buscemi grew up in New York City, right? Grew up with.
I'm an enigma of the skateboard industry.
Yeah, you never really chased the dream, but you were there with everybody, right? Gino, Keenan.
I was a dream chaser.
Yeah.
I was chasing other people's dreams. The story's probably the same for most people, that got into skateboarding in like the late 80s, 87, 88, whenever I started. You know? But we were talking about this before. The amount of skateboarders that don't make it to, it's 99%. You know what I'm saying? You guys are the, you guys are the 1%ers.
We're the 1%ers, yeah.
Right.
I wish I was a 1%er in a different category, but that's true.
I think I'm the second 1%.
Yeah.
I got so lucky to be able to be, for what Gino did in his career, like we were all we were brought along for that ride. Right. Keenan, Huff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like we were a part of that. It's like the whole team won. We were along for that ride.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of other people too. Like Harold Hunter probably.
For sure. That was like the extended fan. Like the New York skateboard scene was tiny, man.
Yeah.
Like tiny.
Right.
You saw everyone at every demo, every contest, whatever, every NSA contest. You know what I mean? You knew Bam was going to win it and his dad was filming it. No, seriously. Yeah. No, seriously. Right. And he would be buying sandwiches for everyone after. I never entered the contest. It was like Gino or Keenan entering the contest just because it was like that, like sponsored AM contest, NSA shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, you'd get to the contest, Bam would be there with his dad. He'd enter street, vert, and mini ramp and win all three of them.
All three.
Just fucking annihilate everyone.
Seriously?
No, seriously.
Yeah.
And he was,
a child.
4 feet tall.
4 feet tall.
But you've talked to Gino before.
Yeah.
He's not a contest skater. Keenan wasn't a contest skater. They tried and they'd have their moment during the minute and a half. Dude, a minute and a half fucking, or whatever it was. It was insane. Yeah. You see even the street league now. It's completely insane to have that type of consistency.
Oh, for sure.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
But back then, there was dudes like Bam and I forget the guys' names, but that had that back then, which was psycho. But then in the parking lot, like Andy Stone and Scott Johnson and fucking Gino or whoever was they were crushing people's lives. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
you grew up in such a great fucking era, great time out there, with those dudes and everything.
Yeah, it was amazing to be a part of that ride, and helping film these guys and being a part of, just seeing the first box come, like the tracker box, we all won. Like, let me get a sticker. You know what I'm saying? Because back then we didn't have any money. Like to have a board, you had your Nodus Mini for 6 months with fucking duct tape all over it, and then your boys getting 4 boards. You're like,
let me get
dude,
one.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
And to be able to have one back then, it was insane.
Yeah, I bet.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Having a new... Do you remember... it's so amateur to talk about this, but to remember, getting a board, just getting a new board was
It's the best feeling.
And didn't happen often.
Well, what was your favorite company back then? Did you guys have...
Well, I started in 80, like back half of 87, the summer of 87 or 88 was really, I think, when I got my first board. It was so terrible. It's so embarrassing.
Let's hear it.
I had a Dwayne Peters Skull Skateboard.
Oh, wow.
Which was like a fucking like killer pool deck.
Why did you get that? What did you?
I'll tell you why. Okay. The skate shop in my town was called East Meadow Mower and Bike.
Okay, bike shop.
Okay, bike shops and mower, dude. Lawnmowers, bro. Like the sickest lawnmowers. And then bikes. So
the sickest lawnmowers. What do you mean?
Ask any East Coast kid, man. Any East Coast kid has the same type of thing. It was a bike shop with the shitty, with the shitty board wall.
Okay.
And then like one little sliver of like next to the cranks or whatever, or the bear trap pedals, it was like wheels and trucks.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or they were already set up, which was like,
No.
it wasn't great.
No.
And then you had Harrow.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember Harrow. Harrow made bikes. So if you were in a bike shop, they had the Harrow skateboards. And they were actually pretty dope. The Harrow Flight Deck.
Right.
It was a pretty dope board. And then there was a bunch of pool skaters in Long Island, I guess. And there was like a bunch of pool boards, like big, hunky, 9-inch fucking monsters.
And you gravitated
I gravitated towards this black board. It was black. It had the white skull on it. It was just better than the rest of the crap that was in there, I guess. And it had some cachet to me.
Yeah.
And I got it.
You got it.
I just got it. And I did a lot of power slides.
Yeah?
I mean, though, that was that era. Like, go as fast as you can and do a, like, back power slide.
Longest slide possible.
Yeah,
Right.
longest slide possible. Wow. And then maybe ollie up a curb.
Were you measuring the power slide? How many feet do you know? What was the longest?
At least 20 feet.
20 feet?
20 feet.
That's
Probably a
long-
20-footer.
That's
really
20-footer.
gnarly.
20-footer.
Especially with no hills, right? In New York.
Like, we'd have a little, that would be on like a little berm, a little hill.
Yeah.
Little hill. But the funny thing is, skateboarding in New York was so, I mean, maybe in California, I mean, everyone has their own experience, but we know the California experience. You know, like, it was a little bit different. If you had a skateboard in 1987, it was like everyone on the block had one, probably, right?
For sure.
You know, in New York, it was like the banana board, and then like nothing, and then back in the mid 80s, like with Gator, Hosoi days, it was like,
Yeah.
and to have a board, like, it came along with this whole other thing. It was like like it wasn't just like having the board. It was like your life. You were this alien person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how we felt. And then we were like in these little packs. I remember this guy, Mike Janicek. It's fun. I hope he's listening, because I haven't talked to this guy in like fucking 30 years, probably.
Oh, wow.
I don't know who got you guys into skateboarding, but we were getting into it a little bit, but then it was this alien. I call him an alien. He landed in our town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Straight up.
Like,
right?
straight up landed in our town with the fucking flop, the blonde flop, OP shorts.
Was he from the West Coast?
He's from the West Coast, and he was a military brat. Oh. So in Uniondale, Westbury area, where we grew up in Long Island in New York, there was a military base, like Marines and Navy, I think.
Okay.
And this dude just like moved into our town, went to our school, showed up to school, like those old like Tony Hawk vibes.
Yeah.
The flop,
Right.
bright clothes, and a skateboard, and we're just like zombie to this kid.
Really?
And we just like gravitated. It's like 7th grade. But we were already kind of into it. My boy Alvin had like the Variflex board. I had this like Dwayne Peters board. Terrible. No offense, Dwayne. But then it was like the Oracle, man. It was like, okay, I got to hang out with you. And then it was like, okay, we saw you, and now you're showing us what you can do. Just mind blown. Like, the guy's doing like ollie, like putting the board on its side and ollieing over it. Seeing that was just like,
You guys weren't there yet.
no, we were power sliding.
Yeah,
we were like
I was
Power
that.
Slide Crew. I think the name of our crew was Power Slide Crew.
Power
No, it wasn't.
PSC.
No, exactly. But it was kind of sad where, well, it was power slides, ollieing up a curb, and then straight to the launch ramp. So these kids were ollieing over boards on the way. Sorry. We'll give you your gifts in a second.
Oh, you got it. Oh,
We have a gift. We have a gift.
Gifts.
Let me finish
Okay.
this
Yes,
story.
please.
This story. So they led us to this jump ramp, which, what the fuck is that?
Never even seen
Never seen a jump ramp. it was all about power slides because there was no point of reference. It was like, I can't even remember why I bought a skateboard.
No.
I think it was just because maybe my boy Alvin and that side of the crew, they were just like, bought a skateboard.
Okay.
You didn't want to get a lawnmower?
But it was no like video. Yeah, I didn't want to buy a lawnmower. Exactly. But our crew did the BMX thing for a few years.
Oh, yeah.
I think, not most. I mean, Gino and Eric and those guys were doing it, and then got into skate. I think like if you were a kid from Long Island, bike was a transportation thing, and then like the freestyle, we were doing like endos, and we had I had like a Diamondback Mike Dominguez.
Yeah.
With a rotor.
The gyro.
And you'd fucking do like tail whips and shit. We weren't great, but that was part of the vibe.
Okay.
And I think a lot of kids that got into skateboarding on the East Coast was because of BMX, because of that. They were related a bit.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Store.
Well, you bought them at the same store for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe that is it.
Yeah.
And then this kid shows up. He takes us to his launch ramp in front of his house, and it was just like, I mean, you guys remember. I mean, maybe, I don't know if did you ever?
I
you never
came
hit
in a little after.
Right after.
Yeah.
I remember the jump front days.
It took over your life.
Yeah. Were you going off the jump ramp right away?
I was doing like, like gorilla grab, fucking frontside air gorilla off the ramp a little bit.
Okay.
Off the edge of it.
Off the edge. Yeah. And then it was like, I had a little arsenal.
Yeah, your little bag.
My method game was pretty tight off the jump ramp eventually.
Okay.
And then the jump ramp turned into, over things, whatever. We'd put a rail slide bar down the back of it, so you jump off onto it and
slide down.
Slide down it.
PVC coping.
Remember,
Talking Raj's language.
yeah. He knows this.
Yeah.
We all it's parallel universe.
Right,
man.
right.
Yeah. We all did the same shit at the same time.
Exactly.
So anyway, the jump ramp, and then it turned into this guy's brother Chris built a fucking mini ramp in the back of their military house.
Oh.
And then that just became like that's another alien. That's the spaceship. So they were aliens, and then the fucking spaceship landed. No, seriously. Think about a 6-foot perfectly built mini ramp, like in the East Coast on Long Island.
Yeah.
Like
It shouldn't have existed.
No, I mean, maybe that was the only one maybe in the whole 50-mile radius.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I'm probably not. Maybe there was some more, but that was our experience, and that's where I met Gino and Eric and Ian Goldberg and all these dudes from Westbury that were like, they were already a year ahead.
Oh, they were.
So back then, like, if you were a week ahead,
Yeah.
you were just fucking killing people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So these guys are a year ahead. So they're already like ollieing out of the mini ramp, and they were just amazing.
Wow.
So we just kind of. And back then it was like 10 people skateboarding in a 10-mile radius. So we just were best friends.
Right,
like,
right.
That's it.
Well, because Long Island too. I mean, Gino and everything. So you must have lived close to him.
Yeah,
right?
just the next town over.
Next town over.
And then it's funny, that summer we met, the next year, without knowing, we're going to the same high school. And we were in the same high school, and then we actually didn't like each other at first. It was funny. He was like this, I know Gino's watching. We were both like class clown competition.
Oh, really?
And Gino was like this little good-looking little fucker, like Italian, like good-looking guy.
Okay.
And he came from we went to a Catholic high school. He came from a Catholic junior high and went to this high school, so he already knew a bunch of girls. He knew a bunch of girls in the school.
Right.
I came from a public school. I knew no one there.
Right.
But I was a skateboarder, whatever, and we kind of all were latched together.
Yeah.
And Gino used to fuck with girls in the classes and shit. We were like, "Who's this dude?" I remember I saw him at that ramp that one day.
At the
or whatever.
spaceship. Yeah.
I saw you at the spaceship, and then it turned into
good friends.
Yeah, we were we're fucking family now.
Yeah.
My brother.
So funny, the origins. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because on the East, a lot of people probably have these same type of stories on the East Coast because these were moments that were happening, and then, throughout us working our way into the skateboard industry, through people getting sponsored and da-da-da-da-da, and also getting older, we were 14, 15, we weren't going to the city yet. And then once we're in 9th grade, we're hitting the train on the Saturday morning. Yeah. We're at the Brooklyn Banks. And then you see this guy named Jeff Pang.
Oh, right.
And you're like, okay, we're 10 years behind.
Yeah.
You know, the guys, you know, going Mach 10 up the big bank, you know, backside flip, backside grab, tweak, back down the bank, like
Right.
in 1989.
And you guys were just...
You're just like, whoa. Like I like learned to ollie down 3 stairs. You know what I mean? Maybe I landed a kickflip like after 45 tries onto grass.
And you guys are kind of like this in the same age, right? You're kind
Absolutely,
of in the
we're all
same...
the same age.
See, yeah.
But so the city kids were so far advanced, and you'll hear this story from everybody. You know, we got to the city, and then it's like you're at the banks, and you see like you know Jeff and Mike Hernandez, and then Huff, and then this kid Ray Matei, who you know, Ray Matei moved from Brooklyn to Long Island into my town. He was like, I know all these dudes that live in Brooklyn and Canarsie, and this guy Keith Huffenagel I skate, and then it's like we're all kind of just like together in the city.
Wow.
To see how far ahead those guys were again was just like it was nuts.
Yeah.
It was completely crazy. And then, you know, we'd sleep over Huff's house, and Huff would come to Long Island with Keenan and sleep at our house, and Mike Hernandez would come to my house, and you know, it was like this kind of like, it was so funny to see, like, it was like the Fresh Air Fund. Do you know what that is?
No.
Like you get like take a kid from the urban environment and take him to the suburbs, and like some like white mom cooks pancakes for them. That was like the shit. It was like Keenan waking up at like my house and getting like pancakes and bacon, you know.
He's probably psyched.
It was psyched. It was like a different, it was like, but then like us taking the train to the city and like staying at their houses was like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? It was
Different
cool.
world.
It was a different world. It was really sick. It was,
Wow.
it was sick.
Crazy.
And it was just, you know, skate all day, skate all night, get home,
Yeah.
you know, no drugs,
Right.
Doritos and Sprite and skateboarding. That's what it was, man. And it was just like going for it.
Yeah.
And these dudes were good.
And what about you?
Me,
Not
so much. Not so much. Not so much. And we talk about it, the 99%, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good skateboarders out there. I would say I was a good skateboarder.
Okay.
I could hang, you know what I
could-
mean?
right.
I could do, you know, I could do a kick flip, backside flip, pop, shove it pretty high.
Yeah.
Ollie down a few stairs.
But everybody else
Flow
was-
with my friends down the street. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We'd skate the city together. But then it's like, oh, this is getting too difficult. It got difficult quick.
Yeah, it did.
I got quick. We had a few break points. We had pressure flips. Mm-hmm. That was a shifty
that changed
era.
everything.
That was changed everything. I fell behind there. I was remedial.
But that didn't last too long.
It didn't last too long, and then straight into the switch, straight into switch, and
So-
then it was over.
Switch came and you were done.
I was done.
You were done.
I was done. But I did, you know, I put in some time. I filmed a lot of Gino sponsor me videos
yeah.
and stuff for the various sponsors, and you know, I'd hold the camera for Keenan and Huff and
Did you
Ray.
film the stuff in the
and
Comedy Promo?
everyone. For Black Label?
Yeah.
Yeah, some things.
But you didn't
Some of
really
it.
want to like film. That
No,
wasn't like your
no,
bag. You were just like
no.
a homie filming.
No, it was like you're around someone that's so talented, and you know, my dad had I think like my dad had a camera, and it was like one of those was like, I'm buying a camera for like my brother's graduation or something, and it was just like fucking sat there.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty dope camera. It was like I don't know if you remember that red JVC camera. It came with the VHS Mini.
Yep.
And then
You
you,
had to put it in another tape?
You popped it into that other tape.
Oh yeah.
But it was funny thing. It was a high quality back then. It was super high quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was difficult to get it off there until like whatever later. Mm-hmm. And then we had some Super 8 cameras or whatever, I think. And then after that, it was just like Gino was so good. Like he sent like these shit box tapes to whoever he sent, and it was a wrap. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, done.
Right, and that's when you were getting there. He was getting all the product.
Yeah, he was getting some product. We were all getting laced up pretty
Yeah.
quickly. There was a lot of fucking John Cardiel boards in my life for a few
Oh
years.
yeah.
That's a funny story too. When Gino got on Black Label, like he was on some other things before, like maybe like he was on Tracker or Gullwing. I forget all the fucking sponsors.
Yeah.
But he was on a few. But then it was like once he got on Black Label, that's like when it was like, all right, cool, we're going out to California.
Oh, so he would go out to California. You'd go with him.
He went out a few times, obviously before, and then it was like we were in high school, man.
Yeah.
And then the last, like we graduated or whatever, and then it was like the summer of whatever, 92
Okay.
or 91. it was like, you're going to California to stay at John Lucero's house. I'm fucking coming out there. Like, I'm skating. Like, because that was peak skateboard for time for me.
Yeah.
Right. And me and Ray went out a couple times, and I'll never forget. It was funny. You were talking about Jeff Grosso. I flew out to California to John Wayne Airport and waiting for Gino to come pick me up.
Okay.
So I'm sitting in the airport. Like, this is before cell phones and shit. You don't, like, it's like, dude, I'm coming tomorrow. Like, it's at 12 o'clock, bro.
Please be there.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, these kids listening to this don't understand that Steve. Like, that's a crazy Steve. Like,
You put a lot of trust in someone.
Like, you're putting trust into someone, which you shouldn't be, because everyone, I mean, we got to California and that's when the weed habit started to get pretty out of hand.
Oh, it did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But anyway, before then, it was really the summer before, or the time before. But anyway, so I get to John Wayne Airport, no Gino.
No Gino. No. Didn't come pick
Just
you
no
up.
one. No cell phone.
Did you bring numbers with you to call in case you...
I had one number.
One? Oh.
The Black Label number to the office. From a fucking magazine, dude. It was in the magazine I had with me. So I call it, no one answers. I turn around, I swear to God, John Lucero is standing behind me. He goes, because I look like a skateboarder.
Yeah.
I'm full skateboard guy. Right. I had the full kit on.
And back then, it was like you're a skater.
I think I had like fucked up Caballero. Like, it was easy. Very easy to picture me. John? Yes. And I'm like, John? Dude, John Lucero picked me up from the airport. Dude, you don't know, like, that's bananas. It's completely I was just like, I mean, it might as well have been Barack Obama picking me up from the fucking airport. Like, it was, I mean, because obviously we saw all the fucking videos and you hear about them. There's no, like, you know what I mean?
And Gino's skating for him now. And
that's what was happening. He was out skating with someone. And John was like, I'll go pick him up. You guys stay here. And he picked me up from the airport. I'm never forgetting, like a pickup truck.
Really?
I was just like, I'm in heaven. In California, the palm trees, it was sunny out. There was like boards in the back of his truck. It was like, dude, this is going to be the best fucking time ever.
How long were you staying out
I think I stayed with them for like a week and a half or something.
Wow, must have been amazing.
But it was sick, dude. So we get back to the, they're at the warehouse at that point. I get back to the warehouse and it's like Dill, Max Evans, I don't know if you remember that dude. That guy was fucking amazing.
Wow.
And Jeff Grosso.
Yeah.
Dude, this is 1992. Like, you know, I've known about this guy for like 5 years. And in skate time, that's like 50 years. For sure. Back then, you know what I mean? It's Jeff fucking Grosso.
Was he wild?
He wasn't wild. He looked like he's had a couple of bad years at that point. I'm sure he's already knows, like, that type of shit.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was like working for John.
Oh,
I think he was like packing boxes and shit.
Okay.
Anyway, and then he was like, hey, you guys want to go get something to eat? And we're like, yeah, dude. Like, and we like jump in his like Honda like 1500. You remember that little tiny Honda car? It
Like a little
like an
Civic
egg.
or
It was like an
something?
egg.
Hatchback?
It was before that, the hatchback one. And we went to like some shitty Italian like sandwich shop, but I didn't give a fuck. You could have taken me to anywhere. I'm just like, dude, John Lucero just picked me up from the airport, and I'm like whispering and fucking, we're in Jeff Grosso's car. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm 17 years old. I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? What's next?
What was
And I'll
next?
tell you what was next. We fucking ate a sandwich, and then we drove, and I always get this mixed up. Someone's gonna correct me.
Okay.
We either went to Kelly's or Chicken's Pool, which are both very famous.
Yeah. Right.
Very like low key famous fucking pools.
You can't, but you don't remember.
And it's like, what the fuck am I doing? Dude, these pools were gnarly.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever looked? I mean, you've seen the pools.
right.
Like the real pool, like the guy built in his backyard to skate in.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a joke. It's not this fucking Supreme pool that's like 6 feet.
Did you take a run?
So we did like the pump. Almost to the top. Almost to the top. I'll never forget. It's on camera. Gino has it on video. Like,
oh my God.
It's like me like pumping, and I'm like, I think I maybe got up to like do like a fakie like to like tail stall and then drop back
Wow.
in. Maybe I got
Okay.
that high. Maybe. But Gino was already like advanced, trying to get above things. I think he did like a rock fakie or something.
Wow.
But anyway. But it's like Remy Stratton, fucking Eddie Elguera, like ripping this pool apart. And then like Grosso with like fucking, you know, He's a little overweight at the time. Just like he has like a fucking 12-inch hoagie in him. He just strapped it on, dude, and just went ape shit.
Oh, did he?
Sad plant, perfect.
Jeez.
Dude, think about doing a sad plant with a 12-inch hero in you. Like fresh. You just ate like a 12-inch blimpy fucking whatever you call it, Subway sandwich.
Did he have a heel bone on his board?
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah, heel bones.
Just
yeah.
a set. Dude, look, do you know what a sad plant is?
Yeah.
Just tweaked sad plant. Perfect. Wow. 250 pounds. No, I don't know. But anyway, that was amazing. And then like got dark and we went to John's house and it was just...
What a time.
It was a fucking crazy time. God, I owe it all to Nooch.
You weren't filming any of this.
No.
You didn't bring your camera.
There was some... No, I think at that point... No, there's a lot of this on camera.
Oh, yeah.
This whole pool thing and then trying sadly to do switch tricks in the fucking Black Label warehouse badly.
No.
When Dill was already like, you know, doing his thing. That was fun. Like just meeting that dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he was the spark plug. It was like, you know, you had like those dudes were kind of like the older dudes at that point. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then just Dill was like, let's go to Huntington High. And then like, that was a whole other warp zone. It was like a video game.
Right.
Like you've seen it I think we saw at that point, obviously you saw a little bit of the Huntington High in video, maybe not even video, but more like in print or in ads or whatever. But to be there, it's like, I'm just getting like goosebumps.
Yeah. There was a lot of shit to skate there.
Yeah. Think about it. It was a little fucking dope shit. And you just spend the whole day there with like Dill.
That's what, 92?
1992, summer of 1992.
Yeah. You're probably like, Ed Templeton skated that. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't remember everything currently, but yes, those moments at all times. And then it was like, what's going to happen tomorrow? That's all in one fucking day. No, sorry. That's like a day and a half. So like all that shit happened. And then it's like go to Huntington High for the whole like next half of the day or whatever. And then it's like, all right, we're taking a mission. We're going on a mission to fucking San Diego. And then you're like at the school that Dressen, you know, those schools that Dressen used to just fucking annihilate, like skating those schools. And then it's like, oh, Chris Markovich is like doing we're just like, oh my God.
Overload.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's over. It was like overwhelming, man. To be in
even
California.
a week there probably seemed like a month.
Yeah, I'm like in day 2 and I'm like, hey, what's up, Chris? I'm like Markovich.
Right.
They're all like, you're a fucking like, you're the god, dude. Like you were. At that time, God,
Yeah. Right.
God to us anyway.
And you know? Gino and they're tripping too, or is Gino?
But Gino never really tripped like that. No. It was more like kind of little bit. We were more like me and Ray were like skate geeks. Gino was like talented skateboarder, kind of like going for it and like not above it, but more. It's hard to explain. He was psyched. Yeah. He was psyched, but he was like. Gino, like people don't understand, like he's very competitive.
Yeah.
On the low.
Right.
Yeah.
He won't like put it out there like that. And like, not that it's a secret.
Well, I think
I think as growing up in New York, everything was a competition. Fashion, your car, your fucking sneakers, even the boards we had. It was always kind of like a fashion-y.
Yeah.
Like, who had the best shit? Look at that shit. Whack. Look at this fucking setup.
Right.
That wasn't a very like a California thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, we were geeking the fuck out.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I mean, there was other moments like I think we went to like XYZ. What was Danny's shop?
XYZ.
Yeah,
XYZ.
Like going into XYZ and seeing Danny Way fold a t-shirt. We're just like, okay, stop. Get the fuck out of here. You know, I need to leave. I need to go back to New York. Like, I can't take this anymore.
Danny Way folding it.
No, he was in there for like, he was just there. You know what I mean?
That's incredible.
I remember seeing Hensley at the fucking first like Lakai premiere.
Oh yeah?
Even like recent. Like I've had these moments recently in my life. Like in the past, when was that? 10 years ago? No, I don't know.
Even more than that.
Which one?
The first Lakai is 10 years ago?
Oh, the first Lakai. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Easy.
Fuck.
Right?
Time is moving.
Yeah.
But anyway, seeing Hensley there was just like, oh my God. You know? Yeah, dude, I say this all the time. It's like, I'm friends with Mike Carroll.
Right.
Like, that's my boy. Mm-hmm. I don't see him often, but like, it's still fucking tripped out to be like, dude, that's Mike Carroll.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Like,
sure,
isn't
dude.
that like a weird thing?
No, that's nuts.
Because he was like, but you know, right? He was like he was one of my favorites.
Did you meet him later on?
I met him way later. Because because then like, I mean, the story keeps, I mean, after this, went back to the East Coast, and then it was kind of all like part of Gino's journey, like the California part of it.
Yeah.
Because we were in New York. So like we'd come out and like things would change. Like, okay, now I live in Huntington.
Oh, you moved to
No,
Huntington?
I'm saying Gino, like after the summer I went to college, he moved to California that next summer. And he lived with Keenan and Eric Pupecki in Huntington. Yeah. And then it would be like, I mean, just the craziest shit. Like you'd be there and then like Drake would show up, or, not Drake the rapper.
Yeah, Drake Jones.
Or fuck, I'm trying to remember some of the people that came through. Just to be in that mix, it was just like kind of magnetic. And then it went from Huntington to, they all moved up to Hollywood.
Right,
and But between then, I'm leaving a big part out. He was on Black Label in Huntington, then he bounced to go to 101.
Oh, yeah.
But he still stayed there, or maybe moved back to the East Coast for a minute. And then then you're in the World Park.
Yeah.
Like then you're at work. Like then it was like, okay, now I come to Cali and I'm not going to Huntington anymore. I'm going to like El Segundo to like World.
Yeah.
And just think about how many skateboarders in the world. Like I'm still a geek fucking skateboarder.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I'm at World. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like no one else is. I'm here. I'm with Matt Naylor and fucking, whoever the fuck we were with, Keenan, and then like Rodney Mullen is like talking to you, and then you're just like,
Buscemi.
exactly. It's just weird.
Right, but how did that feel when Gino moved and now your boy's out there?
It was not fun. It wasn't great, man. It was like it was like your brother moving away.
Gino has always been one of my favorites, but like, could you tell something stood out from him, like his style?
Always,
like,
from the beginning.
Yeah, because
always.
Yeah, back then obviously
Always.
his tricks were good, but you could tell back then his style was just
Completely.
Yeah.
Always. And everyone always noticed. You always noticed something. You didn't quite know what it was back then, but it also came from like everything he does. It's like a fucker, man. Like everything he does is like stylish.
Perfect,
Yeah. It's funny that as long as I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen like skate clips of you.
I'm in Chomp on this.
really.
You were in Chop on this?
You
Wait a
should
minute.
you should edit my trick into this fucking thing.
Let's take a moment and watch
Let's
this.
take a moment.
Yeah.
Wow, that was amazing. Holy shit. That was incredible.
So-
but seriously, I didn't even know you were in Chump on this.
So
What did you do?
I was in LA.
Okay.
Were you in the Fat Boy section?
I was in the Fat Boy section. That's right.
Oh, shit.
I was. I kick my board out. You know the trick? You go up a bank, you kick your board out, and then you throw it back under your feet?
Got you.
I don't know
Okay.
the name of that trick. I used to do that trick all the time. It was just like one of my...
1 foot off, 1 foot on.
Kind of like a sweeper?
It's kind of like a sweeper to fakie.
Oh, got you. Okay.
But I used to do it really well.
yeah.
I just had that trick down well, maybe being at the banks, fucking around when I was a
Right,
kid.
right.
Anyway, so Gino went to do, I think he does a big backside. Do you remember Gino's part in Chomp on This? Is one trick. He does a big sweeping back tray through these bushes up a bank in San Diego somewhere.
Okay.
Yep.
So I was there and I'm like, dude, Ty, let's go. And he filmed me.
He filmed
dude.
you, yeah.
I think it was second try.
Second try.
Second try, real slow and fat.
Ty loves those. Really quick.
Real slow and fat. It was like it's like cooking bacon on Sunday morning, real slow. That's what it looked like.
I gotta go rewatch this.
See what
'cause
people
I don't remember.
what people forget is when you get to 300 pounds.
Okay.
And you're doing a aggressive sport like skateboarding, which there's a lot of quick movement.
Right.
Your big body acts like a gallon of milk, half full, pushed across a table. So it's like,
Yeah. You get those jerking
you get
motions.
This jerking motion, so you can't do too much because you're over or under, and so when you do a sweep, you kind of. It works. It works
was
for
that-
that body type.
was that the heaviest?
That's a skateboard trick that works with my body type.
Was that the heaviest you got? 300 pounds. You were
No, I'm 300 right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm
300? You don't look 300.
I've been between 290 and 305 for
Okay.
10 years.
Really?
Damn.
I don't look 300 though, right?
No.
No,
I'm like a 250 guy.
Yeah.
I'm like a 255
Right.
looker.
But even then,
guy.
like you
I think it's the bones. Like, I'm
so
big
you got
boned.
big bones.
I'm big boned.
You're a big dude, but you don't.
Yeah.
you're
I'm a
not
sleeper. They call it I'm a sleeper.
Oh, that's what they
Yeah,
call it.
that's what they call it, a sleeper.
A sleeper.
Let me give you your gift.
Yeah. Oh,
Ooh.
What we got here?
look at this.
Okay,
huh?
look. Listen. Do you drink, Kelly?
I'll have some just every now and then, yeah.
Kelly don't drink.
We've heard that we've heard some things.
Yeah, but I can keep it. I can hold it down here.
Maybe sip a sip. This is a sip.
Yeah,
This is a sip.
Yeah, what do we got here?
Okay.
What is this?
This is tequila Tapatio.
Okay.
Okay. This tequila is not sold in the United States.
No.
It's only available in Mexico.
Okay.
And this is the #1 tequila amongst most cartel bosses.
Really?
This is what the bosses drink.
Oh.
Whoa.
And I'm a boss.
Yeah. I think you are. Yeah. Yeah. You're
I'm
pretty-
bringing this to a couple of bosses to
Wow.
drink.
Hey.
Thank you,
Thank
bro. Look at this, man.
And the reason I'm giving you this is a regift.
Oh.
Okay.
You're regifting.
Okay, no. Most people who regift is like you regift like a
shitty-
ShamWow or like a fucking or you regift like a gift basket's the #1 regifted thing
Is
in the
it?
world. Like you get a shit fucking cheese and cracker bullshit
Salami,
with like the summer sausage
Yeah.
and like a bad wine. That's a regift.
Okay.
I do the regift of the opposite nature.
Oh.
I take the best thing that I have in my home, which is probably that, and I gift it to you.
No way.
That's how my regifting works.
Now, let me ask you a question. Should we open this? Or is this a shelf thing?
No,
Should we
I think
put it on the shelf?
It is
or
a top shelf.
I think you should have it here, and then maybe when there's a moment that you think you should be drinking it, or a guest is like very, is a drunk, maybe you give it.
Or should I take this home and put it on eBay?
Well, that's the thing. It's the value is probably only a few $100s.
Oh, okay.
So it's only a few $100s, but that's not the point. The point is the liquid.
Yes.
You should drink it.
Should we just try a shot? Should we all take a little sip right
I
now?
want to see you take a shot of that.
Should we crack it open? We'll have a little party.
I'd partake.
Kelly, will you grab a couple glasses for us to,
You're going to mix it with LaCroix?
Pamplemousse.
Pamplemousse. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
It's
flavor.
good. Yeah.
And
It's
you
really
have the
good.
board behind us.
Yep. Pamplemousse.
Is that an actual chocolate board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Le Crabe. All right, let's see.
Was that a
this.
bestseller for that quarter?
They had to buy a couple pallets of it.
People are addicted to that.
Whoa.
That's not a joke,
God
man.
damn.
smell like
pass
that?
me,
Are these
pass
clean?
me your cup.
Are these
Joe.
clean?
Yeah, these are clean.
Okay.
Right. I think so. I'm
No,
what,
they're
is that
clean.
okay?
It's clean.
got a little,
Totally clean.
Yeah?
It has a little.
Okay.
Has
It's got a little water
weird-
stain on the bottom of it, but
it's fine.
I'm-
It looks like a cocoon, but it's okay.
all right, there we go. Do you want a bit? How much?
No,
do you
no,
want,
there's
John?
just 1
A little
ounce,
bit.
just 1
okay,
ounce.
I'm kind of dripping the. Raj, give me your glass here. We'll see what. Oh, Kelly, where's your glass?
Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna?
That's right.
Yeah. There you go, Raj.
Where's the lime and
Or
salt?
tough guy shot. Thank you, Kelly.
I don't think we should shoot it. I think we should sip it
Sip
like
it?
gentlemen.
Okay. There you go,
For
Kelly.
the next, but we can cheers it
Thank
up.
you, bro. Oh yeah,
Good to
hold
see
on.
you guys.
There you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Like, all down
Cheers.
below.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Thank you,
Cheers.
bro.
Cheers.
Let's take a little sip of this, huh? Let's see what this is all about.
Wow.
Butterscotch.
And very smooth.
It's very.
And then you get a lot of it later. Do you feel it?
That's nice.
That's
It
nice.
finishes.
That's really
It
nice.
finishes later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take this home. Sorry, Raj. Sorry, Kelly.
And if you like these anejo, there's extra anejo. It tastes like a whiskey
I feel drunk. I feel a little drunk.
already.
It's the first time you drank in a long time. Yeah.
So, John, let me ask you a question.
I think you just feel drunk immediately because of the feeling in the throat.
This is like the thing you sip on.
Yeah,
Totally.
you don't take a shot of this.
No, if you shoot this,
no.
you're
an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Gotta enjoy that.
So this is great. Thank you so much.
My
John.
pleasure.
This
Enjoy
is
that.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
So let's go back to what were we talking about before we all got drunk? What was it? What were we? What were we? I don't know what we're. Oh, so you didn't finish college.
We were all working odd jobs and shit. You know, like the life of a skateboarder. You know, I think I was working at like a yogurt shop or sorry. We all worked at this bowling alley.
Oh, really?
Because it was night. Because it was at night. Oh. We were always looking for the night job.
Okay.
And the bowling alley was good because you got a bunch of tips. We were like waiter / like you're always like working with the people in the lane and the
Yeah.
birthday party and shit. It was just a good job for a skateboarder.
Okay.
Like the night job.
Oh, sick.
Like all our friends that are skater waiters. We always say skater waiters.
Yeah.
I think that's a colorway at S. Skater Wader Black. No, because I used to design skateboard
part of the
shoes. And we'll
valet
talk about
pack.
it. Yeah, it was like we need a bunch of black shoes for the skater waders.
Yeah,
like
skater
the black suede. So you'd skate. And then you can go to your valet job or your waiter job, and you have to change your
Black
shoes.
soles, black
Skater wader.
Yeah.
Did I make that term up?
Was that probably?
I think maybe I
It's
did.
First time I heard about it.
I also invented the term skirban.
What's skirban?
What?
Skate urban.
Skate urban.
Which is a category of skatewear.
Is it?
No, we made it up though. I made it up.
You need some more
I think it's in the. I think it's in the. I think it's in the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Is it really?
I think it might have made
Skirban.
it. You should look up Buscemi in the Urban Dictionary.
Should we do that right now?
Yeah.
Let's look it up right now.
How do I do it? Do I just type in Buscemi?
No. Go to Urban Dictionary.
Oh, I
and
go
go
to
to the
the-
search field
Okay, urban
and look up Buscemi and see what it says.
Urban Dictionary.
It's probably one of the most amazing definitions of a last name that you'll ever see.
Buscemi. A bowl of pot marijuana with cocaine and or Xanax sprinkled on top, named after the god himself, Steve Buscemi.
Can you imagine?
That's insane.
A bowl of pot laced with Xanax and cocaine. That's my last name in the streets.
Hey man, you trying to smoke a Buscemi?
Buscemi? What's good?
Yo, after the bar, do you want to go home and smoke a fat Buscemi? Jesus, that Buscemi last night really fucked me up.
Amazing.
Well, because you had just mentioned you're, a designer, shoe designer, and all this stuff. You started working for DC.
Right.
Was that your first gig in the?
Actually, skateboarding started to wind down for me, and I got really kind of wrapped up in this like hip hop scene in New York City, and that came along with like, just having like the odd job and like going out. It was all about the nightlife. Okay. Like skate a little bit during the day, whatever. No one gave a shit about skating as much anymore because it was like Gino, Huff, and Keenan were fucking pro. They were like big pros at this time. It's like 95.
Okay.
I mean, that 1992 to 95 went pretty quick for those guys.
Right.
Like they were like shot out of a cannon, 101, snuff, 20 shot sequence.
For sure.
Real video, whatever those guys were doing. I forget. I think Keenan. What did Keenan do? I don't know.
He was 20-shot sequence.
Yeah, blind. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm bugging.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Huff was doing it. Those guys were just like, they were out of here. And then like all of us were kind of just turned into, it's not like they were making us skate, but during those days we're all together. And then once your crew breaks up, it's kind of like, what's happening here? I go skate maybe here and there. And it just wasn't the same anymore. So we all kind of went, not our separate ways, but I got interested in, like, I was sick of being broke.
Yeah.
I was always the dude in the crew that was like, I always had the best sneakers. I had the best sweater that was out.
That's
like
why
that
you're
was
broke.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right. Like well, we talked a lot about skateboarding, but back in, literally 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, forget about the way before skateboarding. It was the hip hop scene, man. It was like break dancing and graffiti and all that kind of like that sub category of the hip hop scene. And we were doing all of it. But my part in that was I was actually designing clothes, not sewing clothes, but taking t-shirts and doing the flocked letters, like, my name or like the crew or whatever, or taking this is a long time ago. We were taking New Era hats because New Era hats were popular in New York. The fitted hats and like taking the Yankee logo and fucking with it and putting like sequins on it or coloring it, bedazzling it, like, but in a cool way. And like, or taking paint markers, like actual paint markers, and making a navy blue fitted Yankee instead of just the simplest thing, changing that white logo to yellow would fuck people's minds up. But we do it meticulously where someone would be like, I need one of those. So we'd be like, all right, give me $30. I'm 11 years old.
Oh shit.
I'd take your $30. I'd go buy a hat for 15 and I'd return you a hat. I'd made $15.
Right.
You're happy. You have a hat that's a Yankee with with pink rhinestones on it, or whatever the fuck it was. In 1985, like the whole thing, it just went ape shit. I mean, in 1985, I'm 12 years old, and like you have the first Jordan came out, and you know, the Air Trainer 1s were out and whatever, the flights came out the next year, and then the shell toe and all the Adidas shit. We were just like, that was part of the uniform of the hip hop shit. And then I gravitated. That's when everything changed for me.
Oh yeah.
So it was like design shit to make money to buy sneakers, or shovel fucking snow to make money to buy sneakers. I'm 12 years old. Or rake leaves to make money or do whatever it took to be the flyest dude in the neighborhood, have the best sneakers, the best sweatshirt, the best hat, the best sheepskin shearling in the winter.
Yeah.
That was my whole mission, to be like the flyest dude. And then that was like part of our ethos.
Okay.
That's always been a part of the thing.
Yeah.
And the town that I grew up in Uniondale, in the suburbs of Long Island, what happened was you had, you know, like Italian, Irish, Jewish, whatever families in this neighborhood, but affluent, or not affluent, rich, but well-to-do Black and Latino families were moving from the boroughs into Long Island, into these neighborhoods. In the 70s and the early 80s, that was happening. But with that, just doesn't bring like a race of people. It brought style. It brought a whole way of living, a whole different mindset. And me as this like, I was just a sponge for all that. It was just like I talked about when that spaceship landed.
Right.
Like I was influenced by that. I was very, you know what I mean? But before that, we were just these like little hip hop breakdancey, graffiti, like weird kids.
Okay.
You know, with BMX bikes.
Right.
Anyway, so with all that, that's all a part of my DNA, the whole fashion thing, the whole being fly thing. And college wasn't for me. I was over it. And again, another summer thing. I'm out of college. It's the summer. Everyone's out of school, like back from college or whatever. And we're at my friend Eric Rossetti's house.
Okay.
It was so weird. Like, it's funny, like immigrant parents, this would never happen to me. Like my family would never stand for this. Like his mother started dating. She was divorcee. She was dating a guy. She's an immigrant, like a Italian, she's from Italy. Okay. And she was dating this guy, and she like left the house to Eric, like an 18-year-old skateboarder.
Whoa, what?
So we all just like it was like
skate house?
It was like a skate house. It was the fucking skate house.
Crazy.
It was the gravity bong house.
Your mom was never home.
She was never there. Anyway, it was the gathering point for our entire crew. So anyway, I'm in college for 2 years. I'm at this house. It was like a big party. And one of our friends, not like a friend from like the immediate crew, but like kind of from like the secondary, like a dude that we knew, he pulls up to this party in a fucking Ferrari. Okay?
Damn.
Another spaceship moment for me. This guy gets out of the car, and this guy was literally like he was in my high school.
Oh.
He was like one of the dumbest motherfuckers you'd ever meet.
Really?
Super like jock, dumb motherfucker. Very talented football, lacrosse, all that shit, soccer, but just, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And I would never really fucked with that dude, but he had the Ferrari. I had to talk to him. He was at people were just gravitating. Like when you show up to a party and you're, I think he would just turn 20 because I graduated when I was 17. I was 19 at the time. He was 20, but we were the same kind of like class.
Yeah.
So everyone like ran through him. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the party, I was like, dude, let me talk to you. And he's like, I've been working on Wall Street. I'm like, interesting. I don't have a job. I'm not going to college. He goes,
Wall Street moment there.
That was the Wall Street, man. It was like kind of that moment. He goes, you looking for a job? No one asked him this the whole night because if they did, he would have recruited like 50 people. But I was the only one that kind of was like, I don't have a job, and like I like what I see.
Yeah.
And I know that I won't have the Ferrari. I'll probably have a Benz with like 500 pairs of sneakers. That's what was going through my head.
Okay.
So make a long story short, he gets me an interview like the week later. I show up to Wall Street, 10 Wall Street. That's where the interview was. And the interview was this. I'll never forget. Her name was Adrian. And she was like the person who ran the office. She asked me 2 questions. Did you fill out your application? And then she goes, if I told you to shovel shit against that wall for a year, you'd be a millionaire. Would you do it? I said, yes. She said, you start on Monday. No. That was the fucking interview.
Seriously?
Dude, real Wall Street boiler room shit. I was like fucking blown away. Blown away. I was like, First of all, I'm on Wall Street. I'm in an alien land. Like I have a bad suit on. I'm 19 years old. I'm like, I might as well be like a puppy.
What was the job for?
The fucking room is. You've seen the movies. This dude's just going ape shit on the phone. Hundreds of dudes, screens everywhere, nice suits, young dudes, slick back hair, the whole 9 yards. So the job was to be, they called it a cold caller.
Oh.
So I would just actually take a stack of cards and cold call rich people.
For these guys.
And I'd say, I'd have the little script. Hey, basically, you'd want to see if the guy had money, and if he was interested in hearing something about like a stock.
Oh, right.
And it would be like, you'd literally call 500 of these motherfuckers for 10 hours to get 5 dudes to say yes.
Wow.
And then that thing became a lead. And then you give it to the scumbag broker you work for. And he'd call him and be like, hey, you talked to my guy, you're interested, blah, 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 here's the stock, do you want to buy it? I'm obviously, I'm not saying this the right way.
Right.
It was actually a script.
Yeah.
And then literally a year later, I took... They put you through school, actually.
Oh.
Once you work there for a year, they're like, okay, you have a brain in your head. You're a hard worker. I'll pay probably like 10 grand or whatever. You go to this school like 3 nights a week to take your Series 7, it was called.
Okay.
It was an exam. It's like taking the bar exam.
Yeah.
But to be a stockbroker. Passed that shit. 30, 40 days later, I was like a broker, like independent broker at this firm, and like calling people up, you'd call someone up for literally 5 minutes, and they send you 100 grand, and you buy a stock with it, and then it would go up, down, or stay the same. And then you call them 5 days later, I got another fucking stock that's gonna go through the motherfucking roof, and they'd send you another 200 grand. And they send you $1 million sometimes. It was crazy. I'm 20 years old, and these guys are I'm getting millions of dollars, throughout the year.
Yeah, of course.
To just some fucking nobody skateboarder hip hop kid that was pretty good on the phone. I was good on the phone.
Right. How were you getting these stock tips? What do you?
So you worked for a firm.
Yeah.
So the firm had, quote unquote, the firm had like analysts that were like coming up with ideas for you. But what it really was is you'd call them up to buy Walmart and Wells Fargo, and we actually saw Marvel was big at the time. Marvel Comics.
Wow.
And then you'd get all their money, and then you say, okay, we're going to buy Universal Auto Parts. Stock's at $4. It's going to 10. You know what I mean? And that was a stock that the firm like had a relationship with. The company had a relationship with. And it was kind of like, it wasn't on the up and up.
Right. Right.
It was, but it wasn't. We made some guys some money. But at the end of the day, it wasn't for me. The whole thing was kind of, I made a bunch of money for the wrong reasons, kind of. It was like really... It
wasn't fulfilling.
It wasn't like from the movies where it was like a complete like illegal operation, but it wasn't completely legal either.
Okay.
It was like in that gray area. I wasn't calling people up to rob them. I was actually I was kind of brainwashed in a way.
Interesting.
Because the firm takes you a bunch of 19-year-old and 20-year-old kids. You think you're in Wall Street.
Yeah.
You think you're like this. You have a suit on every day. People are bringing you coffee.
Yeah.
You think you're like this big fucking time broker.
Big shot.
So 95, 96, 97, 98, 4 years, the market crashes. The bubble, the first tech bubble. I lose basically every single client. I get 2 lawsuits. They're called arbitrations on Wall Street. They're not lawsuits, from 2 clients that lost so much money.
Wow.
I was just done. I was finished. Fucking finished. And I actually had health problems at the time. I had like fucking anxiety and like heart palpitations, panic attacks, anxiety. I had to move back in with my parents. It was fucked up.
Wow.
It was just like roller coaster ride.
How much were you making, do you think? Like a year doing that? 4 years?
Roughly probably a couple $100,000 a year as a 21-year-old.
Wow,
amazing.
That's really good.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is now this is in like parallel with my regular life. You know what I mean? And like I was very connected to the skateboard industry still. Like, Gino would come back to the city and it'd be like with like Kareem and fucking Guy, or even before then it would be like with like the 101 guys and fucking skate the banks with Nodis and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those, like, but I'll never forget, it was the first X Games was in the city on the Upper West Side. X Games #1.
Huh.
Do you remember that?
It was Rhode Island.
Maybe it was Gravity. It was one of those ones up on the Upper West Side, 97. I'm like doing it, dude, at this point.
Right.
I'm at the peak. The Lexus, the fucking, the kit, the gold fronts, maybe.
Oh, seriously,
I was off the charts. Damn. This is like 1997 too. So like my dreams are coming true with the money. The hip hop fantasy is alive and well. You know what I mean? It's like Coogee sweater, the best jeans out, Tim's, Lexus. So then it's like my skateboard life is still there too. So it would be like, you know, I remember like Kareem coming to the, like, you know, Gino's like, you got to meet my boy John. And like, I'd like show up and it'd be like, who's this motherfucker? Drug dealer looking motherfucker or whatever. Like the Montero Sport and shit.
It's amazing.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway. But that was funny to see like that intersection of like watching all these dudes come up as well. And I was like already kind of like I was coming up in my own right too. Because that's when skateboarders were getting rich.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when like you started to see like motherfuckers getting money.
10, 15 grand a month.
Yeah, that type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, I mean, it was a couple years, you know, when the Activision checks started coming for people and that type of shit. But this is like, it was kind of cool. Like, you know, Kareem had action. You know, he was making money.
For sure.
He was doing it, you know? And so, yeah, that Wall Street thing. And then I'm literally sitting in Long Island. I'll never forget. It was like the lowest point of my life, man. It was just fucking... When you had that type of success so fast, so early, so young, to be back at your parents' house,
Huge.
no bueno.
Huge blow, right?
No bueno.
Yeah.
And then not even like depression. It was more I was unhealthy. I was sick because of, I don't know if it was the life change or a chemical imbalance or whatever it was. I never took the drugs they gave me, like the antidepressants and this. I just fucking chilled out.
Right.
And then eventually I was like, I got to do something, man. And I was at my Eric's again. He was still over there, and I saw Jones Keefe, who's Chris Keefe's brother.
Yeah.
And Jones was like, yo, I got an apartment in Queens. I need a... Dill talked about this apartment yesterday about doing fucking acid and
Yeah, the floor coming.
Yeah.
that apartment.
Okay.
So across it was like a apartment building across the way in the next building. Jones got an apartment for himself, and I moved into that apartment.
Oh, wow.
Anywho, so I'm living in this apartment. I'm working like an odd job. I think it was like an old broker friend of mine started like a limousine company. This is so embarrassing. I was the dude at the airport with the fucking sign with the last name.
Picking up dudes.
Oh, really?
Way.
I was that dude, bro. That dude sucks. That dude, being that dude when you don't want to be that dude is the worst dude.
Did you ever hold a sign that said Buscemi?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No. Now Buscemi, now I see my motherfucking name. I see my name on the sign a lot more now, dude. Oh my God. But anyway, so I'm doing that, and then like I obviously have hopes and dreams and aspirations. I'm not going to be sitting there. So I meet my wife my wife of 12 years, 13 years. We start dating, and she's like, we've known each other for a long time. She's like one of the homies that I started dating. So she already knew that I was like at the mountaintop at one point, or at least up the mountain a bit. So
Yeah.
I think she had a little belief in me that I wasn't like, and I used to talk shit like, I'm not gonna be working here like my whole time, like, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't it for me. And she was like, okay, I get it. So with that, I had a little bit of like a support system at the time, and I was like, fuck this. I packed my car, literally, and I'm moving to California. I'm just going to go to California.
Oh, wow.
So I have a lot of friends at the time. You know, I have Tim Gavin, very good friend of mine. I have, obviously, Rick and Megan.
Yeah.
So I packed my car, and I'm going to move to California. And then I talked to Rick and Meg, and they're like, why don't you work for Fourstar?
Oh.
But you could stay on the East Coast. So I had the little I'm packing my car, I'm moving to California. But then I had a few conversations over the next couple of days, and they were like, we're going to send you a box. You're going to be like a sales rep for Fourstar. I'm like, oh shit, this sounds fucking cool. I know how to do sales.
Yeah.
People like me.
You're
Like,
getting
I'll
close.
try it out.
Yeah.
I'll fucking try it out. Like, I'll work for girl, kind of. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting my foot in the door. The worst thing ever had in my life.
Really?
Just being a sales rep. Sorry, any sales rep. I know a lot of sales reps in the industry. It's a breed.
You got to be that.
You have to be that breed. Like you have to, or maybe it takes time to get there. But I did it for like, dude, get in your car, drive to fucking South Jersey. The fucking buyer's not there. Got to talk to the owner. Oh, we had an appointment today with Fourstar. What? Like.
Oh, geez.
Do you think it'd be easier if the internet was around?
What?
Do you think it'd be easier if the internet was around?
Probably.
Yeah.
This is 99.
But you still got to go to the shops.
Got to go to the shop,
Yeah.
and then
Show
it's
'em
like,
the line.
motherfucker, do you know who I? Like, I had that I was a little attitude, like not
Okay.
motherfucker, you know who I am, but it was more like, you know who I know,
Right.
You should take me a little bit more seriously, like I just drove an hour and a half, and this is not happening, like not cool. Or go to Philly, and I was in Connecticut, and I was here, and out on the island. It was just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So I gave that a shot. It fucking sucked. Then Clay. Do you remember Clay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Podium started Clay, and then I kind of got excited because
What was the Asian kid's name? That like
Sung
yes.
and Wayne. But Sung was designing for DC, came to Podium directly from DC to do Clay because the Dunlaps and Gavin were like, dude, we should do like that's when like the lifestyle
brand, yeah.
shit was popping.
Right.
So they knew that I was doing Fourstar. They're like, we should have Buscemi be the rep for the East Coast for Clay.
Oh.
So then I was like, okay, I'll try this out. I went to one trade show. I went to ASR or whatever the one in Vegas was. Whatever.
Magic.
Oh,
Went to
yeah.
Magic. They had a booth, and it was like, again, it was like trying to start the engine, and the engine wasn't turning over, man. I felt it wasn't my thing.
No.
So, but now I'm like in the skateboard industry. Like I felt like I was kind of in.
Right.
Like I had a little taste. So I'm in New York, and I'm like, I'm a sales rep for Fourstar and Clay, but I'm quitting.
Oh.
But now I'm packing my car.
Now you're going to move.
Now I'm going to move. So I drove my car. This is a funny story too, a side note story. I call Gavin and I say, Gavin, I'm living with you. Remember his Hermosa Beach house?
Yeah.
I said, I'm driving to your house. I'm fucking living with you. He goes, no problem. This is right when cell phones were like, you had a cell phone.
Right.
This is like 2001.
A little Nokia or something.
Like you had the
Yeah.
Nokia or the fucking little Sony with the stick or something. Remember that one with the
Little-
stick?
Right.
We ran that one, dude. That one was sick because it had the scroll.
The scroll, right.
Anyway, so Gino's like, I got to go to LA. I'm driving with you. So sick.
Dope.
Driving
Got a
cross country
partner.
with my
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Go to Chicago. Get to Chicago. Stop, because you can make it from New York to Chicago if you're driving fast and you got a homie with you in 16 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the first stop, Chicago. The phone rings. I got good news, and Gavin's like, I got good news and bad news. All right, give me the bad news first. You can't stay with me.
Whoa.
Give me the good news. Frosty Koston said you can stay with him. I said, sick.
There you go.
And then Gino's like, no,
No, he didn't.
stay at fucking Gavin's. I'm like, why? He's like, dude, have you been to Eric's? He lives with Bera, like off of Melrose. Do you remember that apartment?
Yeah.
It's a shit box.
Yeah.
So
By
I was
the
like,
s- by
so
the
now the phone,
supermarket and the-
the phone's, so I call Gavin back. He's like, no. He doesn't live there anymore. He just bought a house.
Oh.
So I'm like, all right, cool. That sounds cool.
Sounds better than that. Melrose, yeah.
So we drive cross country, Utah, the whole 9 yards. We get to Curson. That's where Eric, sorry to blow you up, Koston. He lives on Curson Street, and Gino's like, oh shit, I know Curson. But then we get to Hollywood Boulevard, and it's not a right on it's not a left on Curson, it's a fucking right.
Oh.
Up the hill. So I'm like, all right.
Hell yeah.
The house is getting bigger, bro, up the hill. Getting big. And then you guys all remember the house.
Yeah.
He lived in another fucking spaceship.
It was
I've had a lot of spaceships land in my... Dude, do you remember the house on the top of Curson?
Yeah, it was huge. It was like
it was
the-
on MTV Cribs.
Yeah. That's the one. Right.
That's where I lived.
How long did you live with him?
3 months.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Only what happened to your girl though? Your girl's still in New York.
So I'm dating. I'm still with Maria. She's in New York. She's like, she gave me. It was like she cried. Like it was like fucking tough. But she knew. She was like, you need to go find your shit. And I know. I know something is going to happen.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is her sister was moving to California. Her aunt, who's like basically her mom, lived in California out in Corona. So like she knew she'd be visiting and whatever. And then there was kind of talk of like, if this works, like you come out, and she was down for all that shit.
Okay.
So that was the easy part. I get to California. I have a couple of bucks. I'm very excited. And you start to, now you're a part of a skateboarder, and I think Koston was popping at the time.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Dude, 2000, 2001?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he was popping.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but I didn't know.
Like Monty Koston?
Yeah. I didn't know, no. I didn't know, no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I knew, but I wasn't like...
You were watching the videos.
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I was still.
You weren't
I was still
witnessing
a part of it, but no one knew it. No one. I mean, you knew, but you didn't know until you knew, right?
Yeah.
So it was funny. Like you get to the house, and like I put my shit in. Like, dude, this house is gorgeous. And like I have my own bedroom with a bathroom with like a modern bed.
Right.
Pillows were buttery. Like everything was dope. You know what I mean? The cleaning lady would come.
Oh.
I was chilling.
Yeah.
And I kind of worked my way into California. Like I'm there for a month and nothing's really happened yet. A lot of golf.
Oh yeah.
lot of time at the nightclub.
Okay.
Tons of time at the nightclub. Lots of golf. Lots of chilling.
Were you looking for something or were you just
it was more of an
there?
osmosis thing,
Yeah.
and I wasn't trying to be like, "Hey, you got a job? Hey, you got a job? Hey, you got." I wasn't like that, dude. I was kind of like, something's gonna happen, and let me see. Okay. 3 months go by. I'm down to like, I'm on fumes. I'm at this point like, maybe a Western Union from your girlfriend. Maybe you didn't get one. Maybe you did get one. And I'm a failure again. Just nothing.
Can't do it.
It's Thanksgiving right around the corner. I think I might have called someone to buy me a plane ticket home, and maybe I didn't. Maybe I did.
Okay.
But I got a plane ticket home, and it was maybe like Sunday or Monday, and your boy with no job is hopping the fence at, is it LA High? The big fence down like where Beverly goes into downtown.
Belmont High School?
Oh, Belmont.
Oh, yeah.
Belmont, big fence.
Yeah.
Not good for,
Yeah.
not good if
Two
you're not,
fences.
yeah, and you got to hop it, and you're not even skating, and
Yeah.
you don't have a job, and you fucking hating your life, and you're in a Range Rover with Eric, and he's going to hop the fence, and you're like, fuck it. I just came from eating pancakes with you at the griddle,
Right.
and you had to pay for it. Like, just not in a good mood.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at this motherfucking school with like the worst feeling in my belly, and I get a phone call. I get a phone call from Wei-In, who was the guy that started Lakai with them, who did Clay with Sung, who went back to DC Shoes.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him since I was at Clay, and Clay was like way in the rearview mirror, like a year ago. It was probably a year at that point where I wasn't even working with them. And make a long story short, he's like, we just hired a guy from Nike. He is changing, like, we're changing things around here. They're hiring like new designers, and they're looking for someone. At the time, they were calling it like a trend forecaster. Someone who knew about sneakers, someone who knew about like streetwear that was getting popular, someone who knew about like, you know, I was wearing like Supreme at the time in 2000 and 2001, and I had like 7 jeans on. Like that was like hot at the time, you know?
Right.
Whatever. I had my shit together.
Yeah.
I always will. I have my shit together. I'm looking for someone that has their shit together, that understands the sneaker world. Okay, cool. He wants to meet you. What? Yes. So literally the next day I say, oh, no, sorry. He said he wants to meet you on Wednesday. I had 48 hours to get like a resume, to like get down to San Diego. I had a plane ticket home. Exactly. So you remember.
Yep.
I had a plane ticket home for Thanksgiving that Wednesday, because Thanksgiving's on Thursday.
God damn.
I fucking crammed this whole thing in. I call Lee DuPont because he's the homie. I'm like, Lee, I'm coming down there. I need a place to stay for the night, but because I have this long ass interview, I don't feel like driving all the way back up. He's like, no problem. Da 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 da. Dude, my resume. I got to talk about my resume, dude.
Let's hear
my
it.
resume. I'm gonna shorten the story by half an hour. My resume is a picture of me, which I randomly had, that my boy had, a picture of me in front of my sneaker collection.
That was your resume.
Dude, I swear to God, that's my
Who puts
fucking
a
resume.
photo on their resume?
No,
I don't know.
Not on the resume. That is my motherfucking resume. Is a picture of me. I swear to God, this is true, and I can find it and I'll send it to you. It's a picture of me like this in front of 400 pairs of like Jordans and Nike Dunks and shit. And my name in the Supreme font, Jon Buscemi in the red box logo.
Okay.
And this is what it says. Industry insider, sneaker connoisseur, overall nice guy. That's my resume. And I printed it out at Kinko's, 10 of them, photo paper, and went to this motherfucking interview. And the interview, if anyone would go remembers DC, your interview wasn't one person. It's like a plethora.
You gotta go with the gauntlet, yeah.
Like it was a gauntlet. Like the HR girl, the sales guy, the product guy, break, lunch, the person I'm supposed to be interviewing with, Ken, Damon, like meet everyone.
Yeah.
And another alien moment, I'm down there, I have like, I don't know if you remember the porno shirt that Supreme made. They made an all over print with like these naked girls back in the days. I had that shirt on with a sweatshirt over it, so you only saw a little of it. It's a pink t-shirt.
Okay.
Minds blown. Yankee fitted, 7 jeans, and a pair of like the rarest Nikes that you've never seen, like Air Force Ones from like London, whatever.
Okay.
So I'm walking through like I'm at the interview. I'm like doing my thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm going through these interviews, and like the HR lady, can I have your resume, please, sir? Dude, a photo of me in front of sneakers. Okay.
Fucking incredible.
It got me the job.
That's incredible.
It's incredible. So I meet with the person I'm supposed to meet with. I actually met with Ken and Damon. They're like, ha ha ha, funny. They already knew about me through like Kelly and Huff or whoever. I've probably met them before. I actually met them during the NBA final in New York when they were signing Stevie. We're at Chelsea Piers. Again, just random skate fucking parties. You meet these people. Huff's wedding, I met Ken Block.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I go back to LA. I'm fucking waiting. I'm waiting. Like, you know when you go on a job interview, like, we'll call you. The guy was like, I'll call you.
Yeah.
I got my ticket. I'm like waiting. It's Thursday. I'm like, dude, I didn't know like people wait like weeks.
Jeez.
I didn't know. Like I was on Wall Street. I'm like, I thought this was like
quick. Yeah.
Let's go. Call me. I got the fucking job. Shovel shit against the wall. You got the job. Start Monday. You know what I mean? Yeah. Nothing. Get on the plane. I'm in Thanksgiving. I'm in fucking my house in Long Island. It's just like, what the fuck? My car's in LA. I don't have a job. A week and a half go by. I'm driving. I'm with my girl. I got to go fly back to fucking LA and drive my car back to New York. What a fucking letdown.
Jeez.
The phone rings. The guy calls. I'm going to be in LA. I want to meet with you. I want to talk about, like a second interview.
Oh, okay.
It's like something about Mary. Santiago, Chile. I was there twice last year. I was like, dude, I'll be in LA tomorrow at 3. You know what I mean? Literally, total lie.
Yeah.
I fucking somehow get it together. I get on Tower Air, which I don't know if you guys remember that back in the days. It was like kind of the JetBlue of its time. You could just like, you actually had to call up and give your credit card before pre-internet.
Oh, wow.
You had to call up and give them your fucking credit card over the phone. It was so weird.
Crazy.
Got a fucking flight, got back to LA, go to Fred Siegel on Melrose. I meet this dude. He's like, talking. He's like ordering dessert. I'm like, what, dude? I'm like gonna lose it. I literally get up like this. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, dude, I think you're great. I think this is amazing. But like, I need to know, man. I need to fucking know. Do I have this job or not?
Wow.
Like almost an hour into a lunch.
Yeah.
He's like eating his like chocolate cake. He's like, dude, you had the job like 2 weeks ago. Like, relax. I start crying. I fucking cried, dude. Yeah. I fucking cried. Not like a
right.
Like I start tearing. I hug the dude.
Wow.
It was like one of those like, you have no idea what this means to me. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's all that do what you love, never work a day in your life. I'm about to become like a quote unquote like, I'm going to be directing sneaker designers on what to make.
Crazy.
Like craze.
Yeah.
What? Like, and DC was kind of like, not that they weren't they always were popping in a different way, but they were popping at the time.
Yeah,
like, it was dope.
They were killing
Like, it was like, it was like Kalis and fucking, it was a dope time for them. So I got the job, and 2 years later, I mean, Did
you have to move down there?
I moved down there. I live with Lee. Dude, fucking, you got to get Lee on the show.
Yeah, of course.
You could do a little 10 minutes on the Buscemi month of me living with him. Wow, dude. Oh, man. Because he's a maniac, I love him, but,
he's a great maniac.
He's great.
Yeah.
And I was a maniac, and it was funny.
So
so I worked there, and I was the I worked on international projects. I worked on like artist collaborations. I worked with the fucking founders of the company on cool shit. I worked on Stevie's shoe, Josh's shoe, worked with Rob on all the shit he was doing.
Oh.
I was in it, man.
Yeah.
And I became like, a part of that conversation. Like, I was like getting articles written about me in like trans world business. I had like an interview in Buscemi fucking trans world business. It was like, what? It was dope. But at the time it was like, my boss was like, dude, why are you doing interviews? Like, you're just like, work here. I'm like, nah, bro, but it's good for business. I'm going, bro. It's good for business.
Yeah.
And then
it's
like,
good for you too.
Yeah, it was for you. We did a shoe that sold 100,000 pairs, bro. Like the Josh Kalis shoe that I did for him was like the Kalis 4. I worked on it with him, and that fucking thing banged. Like, we were making them money. Like, we were making fucking money, dude.
Wow.
We were killing it. Jesus. And then, you get bored as a creative, and I learned. It was so funny. It was almost like I was like getting my PhD.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was so excited about my job that it wasn't a job. It was like I was living it like like how you like when you first started skateboarding. It was like it consumed your entire fucking 24 hours of your day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was doing shit at home when I got home, and waking up early and going to the office, and coming in on a Saturday, and traveling, and like trying to get involved in things, and starting committees, kind of,
Crazy.
Inside, I was going nuts.
Yeah.
And I think I moved a little bit too. I'd probably still be there if I wasn't moving so fucking fast.
Oh, what do you mean by why though?
I just moved too fast through everything there, and then I kind of like tapped out.
Huh.
Like
been there, done that.
No, it was just kind of like, I got so much knowledge so quickly, and then the entrepreneurial spirit was like, it's time for you to go.
But
3 years, like a 3 year, a 3 year run there.
But
like
when it's time,
harsh 3 year run,
harsh,
like not harsh, great, amazing.
Okay,
but harsh, like the pace.
Oh, got you.
Traveling a lot, like never around, always doing something, coming up with this, coming up with that.
But when you're 3 years in and you're ready to leave. Do you have anything lined up, or are you just leaving?
Absolutely.
Are you okay?
So, two friends of mine were starting kind of like an Italian American sportswear brand.
Okay.
And this is the end of 2005. I'm still at DC.
Okay.
And in my office at DC, I was always working on my own things, ideas, this and that, and I came up with a brand called Gourmet.
Gourmet, yeah.
So I was cultivating this brand. The idea of the brand was supposed to be like as this kind of like a lifestyle streetwear brand, all about food. Because through my travels at DC, I was eating well. Fucking really well.
No way.
Way. Like, way. Like, it was like, okay, like, when you went on a skate trip, or even, you'd skate for a certain amount of time, and then it'd be like, all right, we're going to go bowling, or what. I'm just riffing
for sure.
here, right?
Right.
When we were on a trip, it was like, we'd work for 8 hours, and it was like, where are we eating dinner?
Yeah.
And then, like, the dude, if we were in Japan, he was like, oh, we're going to eat dinner, motherfucker.
We got the good spot.
Yeah.
Right.
And DC had money, and it was like it was corporate card time, and it wasn't like we weren't going to fucking Outback Steakhouse, dude.
Right.
Never.
You were going to Ruth's Chris.
We were going even like but like, yes, Nobu, yes, Ruth Chris, but like the local version, which was like the foodie version, and then it would be really specific, like, oh, Buscemi's coming, like, we need to outdo everything we've ever done. And then I was, I'm kind of like, I'm not like this frail little dude. Like, okay, are we going to dinner now? Are we getting tacos?
Yeah.
Nah, dude. Like, give it to me. I used to challenge dudes. Like, nah, man. You need to bring it. You need to fucking bring it a little bit harder.
Okay.
And that became like a narrative. And then you're meeting people that work for DC. Like if you're in Australia, it's DC.
You're like challenging them to like.
Yeah, and they know I was coming, and there'll be an email like, we're eating. We're going to eat when I come into town, right? And then that foodie thing really. I mean, now
there's emails about eating.
And now you're like 16 years later from. I mean, when I became a food. I always say I became a foodie in 2003 because when I was gone. I think I was gone more than half the year traveling at DC that one year, and it was like, I mean, I can't even. You can't. This is pre-fucking social. Like, if I had social media in 2004,
you're like Anthony Bourdain of like skate culture,
dude. I mean,
you'd be Instagramming your food a lot.
killing people, man. I was killing it. I mean, I have some of these photos like on like like a fucking camera somewhere. I mean, I had that Samsung that Akko and Atiba had, that blue one that took like decent photos. But like you look at them now, I actually plugged some of those. I plugged my iPhone 1 in recently.
Oh shit,
they're shit. The photos are shit.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. So foodie, big foodie. Yeah. I had a big head, I thought I was the biggest foodie in the space.
Okay.
So let's start obviously we're going to start a brand.
Gourmet.
So Gourmet was like, graphics of like 2 everything bagels on a shirt, and then in the middle of it said "is." Like everything is everything.
Oh.
Or like I had this graphic like a Warhol bananas, and then I just put like "that's" above it. That's bananas.
That's bananas.
Like kind of like stupid little
like
graphics.
Play on words with the thing. Yeah.
And then like I was like there was like some truffles and just like foodie shit, dumb shit. But I thought it was interesting.
How did it do?
Didn't do anything. It didn't happen.
Oh, it didn't.
What happened was I had this idea, and my friend Greg Johnson and Greg Lucci in LA, who actually were involved in like Greg worked with Sal at Zoo York.
Okay.
When I don't know if you remember, Sal Barbier was running Zoo York for a second.
I remember.
You remember that?
Aesthetics,
This guy Greg Lucci, who used to work for Adidas and shit, Italian kid, and then Greg Johnson, who owned this brand called Situation Normal. He designed for Supreme. He designed for Stussy. They were doing this like Italian American thing, like luxury Guido culture.
Okay.
Like their idea was like that. And then I had this food thing, and then I'm Italian. It was like, dude, that's pretty sick. We should like put this together.
Oh.
And I moved up to LA to work on that with those guys.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I had a job at Oliver Peoples.
Oh, the sunglass?
The eyeglass company.
Yeah.
That was kind of I always say it was kind of my appetizer into the luxury space. So I worked for Larry Light, who was the founder. And we had a mutual friend that ran the company.
Okay.
And he knew like I understood this world, the quote unquote streetwear.
What was the name of the brand that you guys were doing? Your buddies?
Gourmet. So that was Gourmet.
Oh,
that
so that
became
was
Gourmet. Oh, sorry.
I got you. Okay.
So the
I
graphic,
said nothing happened.
the graphic foodie shit for Gourmet didn't happen. But when we came together, it was like, let's call it Gourmet because obviously it had the best name.
It's a great name.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
It was a good name.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't exist anymore. We went on a pretty good run. Unfortunately, we launched the brand in 2000 and back half of 2006, 2007, and that's when like everything went apeshit. Fucking
shit hit the fan.
2007, 2008, the recession, and then we're trying to sell like $500 cashmere hoodies and like we were very early on like this whole kind of like high luxury streetwear shit. We're very early. It tanked, but the saving grace was the second season we were doing Gourmet, we came out with these ideas for shoes. And you probably remember the shoes and like all this dope apparel that we're making in Italy and all this sick stuff like tanked. No one bought it because it's too expensive. But it was like, oh, those little shoes you made, we love. And those took off. Okay. And we became a footwear company. So Gourmet, we went on like a 3 or 4 year run.
The clothing part tanked, and then
the clothing part tanked, but the shoes were great. Low, they were like the perfect price. They were the perfect. It was a kind of like this hybrid, like Jordan kind of casual shoe,
like high quality.
It was like a high quality hybrid basketball lifestyle shoe, kind of like Clay, but more like
Italian
sporty Italian. Yeah, exactly.
How much were the shoes? How much
like $200 or whatever, something like that. So like still a little expensive for the time, but not like crazy like our apparel.
Right.
So we went on like a 3 or 4 year run. Everyone raced to it, like Vans Vault and all these brands kind of raced to that lifestyle like luxury lifestyle kind of like sporty shit.
Yeah.
And we just got fucking crushed by that.
Got crushed.
But I had a job at Oliver Peoples, and I was doing other things while I was doing Gourmet. And, you know, at the end of Gourmet, it was like, what am I going to do? I mean, again, another one of those like I've been, you know, I've been in the corporate side, you know, now I left to do my own brand and it's fucking not working. And now it's going out of business. And what am I going to do? I'm going to go back to I didn't know what the hell I was going to do.
Right.
So in 2012, there was a brand called Warby Parker that I fell in love with this brand.
It's an eyeglass brand, right?
Right. It's an eyeglass brand. So I worked at Oliver Peoples, but I left in 2011 to focus on Gourmet solely. So I was out of there. But I've just always been into the sunglasses and eyewear. It's just kind of my thing. And then now I worked at probably arguably the best eyewear company in the world.
Right.
Like they're known as the pinnacle eyewear brand, or not so much anymore. There's a lot of people, but like when I worked there, and then since 1987, since they started, they were it. That was it.
Okay.
Like in an American Psycho, like Paul Allen was like, you know, I eat at Dorsia and I wear Oliver Peoples glasses. You know what I mean?
Right,
like it was that was the shit. The 90s for Oliver Peoples, crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was introduced to Warby Parker through like a friend, and then I read an article on them. This is early direct. You hear this word direct to consumer all the time.
For sure.
Which is really just been around for fucking 200 years, but now it's the thing because of the internet.
Yeah.
So it's brands started on the internet, like cutting out the middleman. I just love that. I always kind of, I've heard of that before. I always love, well, you know, growing up in Long Island, it was always like something falling off the back of the truck, or going to the Price Club, or going to like Costco. It was always like a thing, like, dude, I'm going to get this fucking bag of sugar for like wholesale, man. It was like, you got psyched on that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you got a deal.
It was a deal.
Yeah.
And it was always a thing. This is the same thing, just packaged beautifully on the internet.
Right.
And then it was like, it would be amazing to start a footwear brand that had that ethos. Like, you're paying $400 for a pair of Italian-made sneakers or a fucking boot or whatever. You're only paying $400 because Gucci needs an ad in the GQ, and he need to pay the fucking creative director $8 million a year.
Yes.
And then we need a private jet. That's why that shoe costs
But the shoe only costs $12 to make.
Yeah, the shoe costs, you know, I'll give it to him. That costs $40 to make.
Okay.
Wow.
But, so something that costs $400 in the store really costs $30 or $40 to make.
Yeah.
That always kind of, I understood it, and I understand that people need to eat and companies need to thrive.
Yeah.
But there's a way you can get past that. So
Right.
Greats was like, let's start a footwear brand that cuts all this shit out, and I'm not scared to say it, let's copy Warby Parker, what they're doing in the art. We didn't copy it to the T, but we drafted off of them.
Okay.
Not from the look standpoint, just kind of from the process. Like, we make a shoe for $25. We're selling it to you for $60. That's it, bro.
That's it.
That's it. There's everything else in between we'll figure out.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And, you know, we started it small. We raised a little bit of money. People were really excited about this space, even in 2012. Now it's 6 years later. It's bananas.
Yeah.
Back in 2012, the smart people were like, I like this. I'll give you money.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we raised some money. We started making the shoes, and, you know, right out the gate, the first day we sold 300 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
And then the next month we sold 3,000 pairs of shoes. And now this year we'll sell, you know, Greats will sell, you know, I don't know the number, but
Right. A lot.
in the six figures
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, when you first started,
of pairs, you know.
right, and when you first started Greats, is that internet based, or is the internet?
That's it.
That's it.
That's all it was. It was a team of
How
four.
did you get? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was a team of literally 4 people, 2 full-time people, myself and Ryan Babenzine, who's now the CEO and the guy who runs the company. I don't work at Greats anymore.
No.
I left a year after it started, and for other reasons we'll talk about.
Okay.
But, you know, to start a direct-to-consumer business, you need someone to build you a website, but you don't need to hire those people. You can go hire a firm.
Yeah.
You want to build some shoes? We went to Mexico. We went to Guanajuato. It's Leon, Mexico, which is the premier shoemaking place in North America. We flew down there, and then the factory makes you your shoes.
Right.
I designed them, and Ryan worked on the marketing. You don't need too many people. That's why we can make a shoe for $20 and sell it for $60, and that $40 in between doesn't need to be $400 fucking dollars.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's lean. You have a few people, and, you know, even the team now it's such a huge company from like a footprint size. But there's only still like 15 people that work there. Where a regular company that has to wholesale and have salespeople and have a warehouse, we learned how to outsource. Even our warehousing is subcontracted to a company that it's called Shipwire.
Oh yeah, Shipwire.
Shipwire. They do it all for you,
right?
You know, and you have one guy.
Party.
Yeah, it's a third party, and Greats is really the consummate. It's really a benchmark of how to run a modern brand. You know what I mean? It's really cool.
But I always thought Greats was a great brand. Like I always thought you guys made good shoes, and I always thought they could go into skateboarding too.
Yeah.
Like I always thought people could get sponsored by the Great, but you never.
That's interesting. You know, we've been approached by, well, not approached. We've talked to people about skating in the shoes. People actually have skated in the shoes, but the model of sponsoring athletes.
Yeah.
And the amount of money that takes doesn't make sense for our business model, I think, because of like I said, there's only so much in the middle.
Right.
And they're not built for skateboarding.
It's not built for skateboarding.
Yeah.
They're not, but they look like they could skate really good.
But it's like, is a Vans old school built for skateboarding? It's built for like getting shredded apart. But you skate them because
you can feel your board.
You feel your board. They look cool. I think Greats or any brand like Greats, to build a skateboard shoe, I've built skateboard shoes for about 3 years straight at DC. There's little modifications you could take to a regular shoe that you loved. And, you know, who's a wizard? Rob Dyrdek's a wizard at that. He was always a wizard at that. Like, he loved the running shoe, the look, but you couldn't skate in a running shoe.
Right.
But he always could ride that line, and the designers and the technicians and the engineers, they'd actually like make that shit happen.
Yeah, so you couldn't
roll the ankle or like that technology actually works.
Well,
it's all stolen from basketball.
Yeah, he had a DC shoe that looked kind of like an Air Max, right?
Remember that?
Yeah.
But that thing would, like, you could skate in it.
Yeah.
And like they would test it too. It wasn't like just like, oh look, we did this. Like, no, there was like dudes testing it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was real R&D down there, which was pretty sick to work around that. It wasn't just like fake.
Were you around for the Legacy when it was being designed?
I was there for that.
What do you think of the reissue?
I'm not a big fan of it.
I thought it looked tight when the dudes were skating in it.
Yeah.
Personally, because I saw dudes skating, I was like, "Oh, it's tight."
I just never liked the look of it.
No.
It wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
You know, I love the clocker and, you know,
That shoe was tight.
that type of DC shoe, or
never-
the Stevie One.
Stevie One.
Stevie One, yeah. The big shoe.
It was big, but it would look like if you were gonna go there, like I remember then, like it made sense. It looked good.
Okay.
Feel,
Not so
I don't
much.
know.
Cinder block.
Big cinder blocks, man.
And then after Greats, you went and did your own
My eponymous brand,
Buscemi.
Buscemi. I say Buscemi.
You say
You could say
Buscemi.
Buscemi.
Now, why did you want to name it after your last name? Was it the sound of it, or you just thought it'd be good, or was it?
Okay, so when I started Greats, at the same time, like I told you, the personal brand, which we don't like to talk about, but we'll talk about it, was happening.
Okay.
So Greats wasn't about me. Greats was about a proposition, a value proposition, about getting a brand out there that cut the middleman out, you know, didn't have to wholesale, didn't have to kill you on the price.
Okay.
At the same time, and it wasn't planned, I had this story. I've always been trying to tell a story at DC, you know, even at Clay, all the way back through Oliver Peoples. My whole story has just been aspirational, kind of like street luxury thing. Like I've always been attracted to the luxury space.
Okay.
Whether it was like we always needed polo back in the days, or we wanted like the Louis Vuitton belt, or we wanted a BMW. Like, you know, even Stussy back in the 80s, they took the Chanel logo and they flipped it. The Chanel number 5, it was Stussy number 4.
Yeah.
You know, Supreme back in the early 90s, they took the Louis Vuitton font and they made S's instead of LVs.
Right.
And they did money signs instead of whatever. As a culture, we've always been aspiring to be like this luxury thing. We always love it.
Yeah.
Jordan really nailed it, you know, back in the 80s. Was like, okay, this is a sneaker, but it's designed by a fucking architect named Tinker Hatfield, and his inspiration was a Ferrari.
Right.
And then you got the Jordan 3 and the Jordan 4, and it was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I've always been attracted to that. So my DNA and my design ethos has always been that. Mm-hmm. So I've never been really able to tell that story. And now Greats, funny enough, when I'm starting it, that's actually the antithesis of what I'm trying to do.
Right.
So I said, fuck it, I'm going to start this. It wasn't a brand. It was more of like an art project. It was a story.
Huh.
So I told a story through product. Let me make this weekender bag. It was telling a story about a guy. What does he want? So that first Buscemi project, if you want to call it a collection, if you want to whatever call it, it was 6 items. It was a weekender bag, beautiful, hand-painted edged leather, beautiful bag. Like you could go on a 3-day weekend. Like a guy could take this bag on a plane with him. It's like this sick bag with like tons of pockets.
Okay.
You could put your newspaper on the outside and your iPad and whatever. Then I made a dog leash, the most beautiful dog leash that
Right.
you've ever seen.
Okay.
Leather clasp, leather handle, gold clasp, hand painted edge, hand woven leather bridle with an 18 karat gold clasp for the dog's collar.
Okay.
I made the Java jacket. I told you guys about
the
the leather sleeve so when you go to a meeting, you're the talk of the meeting. You know what I mean?
Just the little finger hole.
Little finger hole made out of 18 karat gold plated metal. Beautiful calfskin leather, hand painted edge, hand sewn, beautiful.
Right.
I made a leather tie, which was actually kind of a gag. Back in the days, back in the 80s, if you had a leather tie, you were the shit, like mid 80s.
Okay.
But I took
Or a keyboard tie.
Keyboard. A keyboard tie was actually made out of leather.
Yeah.
Printed leather. The keyboard tie was a printed leather. But actually, around that time, there was leather ties like black or red or navy blue or green. They were dope.
Okay.
So it was more of kind of like an ode to back in the days. I made a leather tie, and then the shoe. So I took the idea of the most sought after handbag in the world, which is the Hermes Birkin bag. Every girl wanted one. Every girl it has a great story. Jane Birkin, Hermes made her this bag. She wanted something that all her shit wouldn't fall out. It was just like this mystique around this bag. And I was like, what if we made this bag into a sneaker?
Right.
I also had like a dream years before that. I had drawings of this shoe. I had a dream that my wife and I had broken up, and she has one of these bags actually. We had broken up, and I took her fucking bag and I cut it up and I made a sneaker out of it. It was a dream.
Wow.
This is a true story. I actually had a dream, and this is when Blackberries were popular, and I was working at Oliver Peoples at the time, and I was on a trip, and I always not trip out physically, real.
Yeah.
You ever, when you're in a hotel room, the first night you're in a hotel room, you have like a bad dream or you like wake up? I've always
Where
had
am I? Yeah.
where am I moments.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe because you had too much to drink or you fucking whatever it was, or jet lag or something. Anyway, I woke up, I had this dream. I wrote it in my BlackBerry. It was in there for years. So when I was doing this project, I'm like, we got to do this shoe. We do this. I made this like capsule of products for like this fantasy guy. Like not my fantasy guy, but
a guy.
Like I wrote a story of like who's the illest motherfucker alive. Kind of that was the vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this dude is just the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all this shit is bananas. And I made it.
Yeah.
And Greats is happening. And now I go and I show this in Paris because my friends own this kind of show in Paris where emerging designers show all their shit. And I go to this show. It's called the Capsule Show. I'm in Paris. I'm sitting at this booth. It's like a trade show, but like fancier.
Yeah.
It's not like so like trade showy. It's more like kind of like a gallery environment.
Okay.
So people are walking up and like Ray Caracubo. She started Comme des Garçons, which is a famous fashion. She's walking through there, and editors of fashion magazines and this and that. And they're all walking over to my booth and just like, what is this? And I'm like, well, I'm Jon Buscemi, and I kind of was explaining. Some people knew who I was and didn't. I explained my story, and I'm like, this is kind of like a project. I'm just made these 6 items. Hope you like it. And I'm like, this is great. This is really great. I love what you're doing. And we actually, after that show, we got 5 of the greatest like stores in the world, like Colette and Union in LA, and a few stores in Asia bought into this stuff.
Wow.
They like loved it.
Okay.
And because of social media, I leaked it all, quote unquote, before it delivered, and people just flipped out over it, especially the shoe.
Yeah.
And the shoe delivered to these stores, and it was sold out before the shoe even got there, like waiting list. So it was crazy.
Were you tripping like, oh, I got
tripping.
something like this?
I was tripping.
This could be big.
I was tripping because, well, not only was tripping because I started a brand called Greats, and like now that's doing well, but that was kind of a slower, you know, that's put on the simmer. You know what I mean? It was like simmering. This went to straight to fucking the oven on high, 500 degrees immediately, quick, done. Wow. So now I'm like, my day job's Greats. Yeah. This other thing is not my day job. I did it by myself. I mean, I have the factory in Italy working on it, and my brother-in-law was helping me, and people, a couple people were kind of like hovering around it.
Yeah.
But then, to make a long story short, I went back to Paris 6 months later, showed a little bit more of the range, and then it just went fucking completely apeshit.
Because these are expensive.
Right. Yeah.
But like, how much were the shoes too? Like you selling the shoes?
So the shoe, which is basically the main attraction, and that's the biggest part of my business now because I'm a shoe guy.
Yeah.
When we went to make the shoe, price didn't matter. The idea, I mean, when you're making a piece of art or you're going to build a table for yourself or you're doing something, it was like, I need all these things to make what I need to make.
Yeah.
I'll figure out what it costs. So fortunately or unfortunately, depends on the way you look at it, the shoe cost about $200 to make. Just to make.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the rule of thumb, like I told you before, some of these big brands times that motherfucker by 10.
Yeah.
So I could have charged $2,000 for this sneaker. It wasn't like the Greats thing. It wasn't supposed to be so democratic.
Yeah.
We were just like, you know, we're going to charge $900 for it, which is actually half or a little bit less than half what we could have charged for it.
Okay.
In the luxury space.
Right.
So whoever's listening out there, you actually got a value at $900, but that's neither here nor there. But you're getting a lot, right?
Yeah.
You're getting a shoe that's handmade, a sneaker that's handmade in the same ways that Italian fine footwear has been made for hundreds of years.
Right.
In the same factories and by the same people, with the brands like Chanel and Louis Vuitton and Gucci in the same factory.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, if these people use this material here, I use this one. Like, this leather wasn't soft enough, I'm using this one. This sole isn't comfortable, I'm using the. I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
I took every element that the pedestrian luxury sneaker was doing, and I took it up a notch. I think that's what won, because I think the quality mixed with, obviously it looked good and people thought it was cool.
Right.
But that taking the quality up a notch helped us a great deal. You know what I mean? And that's a big part of the success.
Like price gouging them either.
No, like I think people understood, and especially guys. I think at 2010 things shifted a bit. You had brands making, brands were making shoes for guys that were like $500-600, and people were like okay with it. Yeah. Even like, it's funny talking about Keenan. Keenan was buying those Prada sneakers back in. Remember, I don't know, he used to rock them shits all the time. They were like, those were like $350 back in like 2005, 2004. Crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, everything's kind of doubled, in almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So, a guy buying a pair of shoes for $600 wasn't so crazy. And now if he's there, okay, look what I'm getting. 900s, I'm not, this is obviously, look, it sounds a little crazy what we're talking about. It's a certain amount of people in the world, but like, we pay $1,000 for an iPhone X. You know what I mean? True. Like people have different priorities. Like me, I'm a sneaker guy. Like I would pay right now. I'd pay $5,000 for a Jordan if I wanted.
Okay.
Because I'm a psychopath sneakerhead.
You'd really pay $5,000 for
probably, but I mean not every day.
Yeah,
it would probably be like once in a 5-year span. I'll go and splurge on something. Club? Yeah, like I go to Flight Club probably a few times a year now, where I used to. It was more back when they first started, but I like to like peruse.
Yeah. Just
But now it's kind of crazy. Like the things that I would want, like really, really want, like now, now it's getting out of control. I mean, some of these sneakers are like 20, 25,000 now.
seriously,
Yeah.
what the fuck kind of sneakers?
So what happens is this is very
Like
easy.
Eminem's Jordan is like 20K.
Right. Exactly. It's a great example.
Yeah.
So economics 101 is supply and demand.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Of
easy.
course.
Like
That's-
Eminem makes 12 pairs of his shoe.
They're gonna sell, right?
The sneaker community now is exponential. You got 5 million core sneaker fucking heads.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just making this up, but that's probably the number.
Yeah.
Out of that 5 million, the super 1%ers, they might be billionaires.
Yeah.
True.
There's probably 5 billionaire sneakerheads.
Yeah.
That's probably a real number.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now that billionaire is like 20 grand for a fucking Eminem Jordan.
Easy.
Let's go. I'll take all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of,
Right.
like the Supreme thing.
Yeah.
Supreme's 25 years old, 24 years old. You do a collaboration with Louis Vuitton. Your
Which is
fan
hilarious.
base, it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. 'Cause They basically got a cease and desist back in the day.
Exactly. To me, it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
I think it was executed well enough to not be completely hilarious.
Okay.
I think it was actually. I got mixed feelings about it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. But the fan base of Supreme is so wide, and then the Louis Vuitton fan base is so wide. Like,
Right.
it's easy to sell a $60,000 steamer trunk with a skateboard in it.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
What about with your shoes? Are you trying to get? Are you?
I'm not trying to make anything for 60 grand.
No,
Let's put it that way.
not 60 grand. But are you saying like, oh, I could sell $900 shoes, so maybe now I could sell $1,500 shoes or $1,200 shoes or whatever it may be, or
Right.
Or do you build a shoe not? Like you said, you don't care about the price.
I don't
and
see.
you're
That's
just-
that's my problem. Maybe that's my problem, my gift, or my curse.
You just
Yeah.
want to make the best product possible.
Usually, when you're designing something, you have to be working inside of a box. So, you're at DC Shoes.
Yeah.
we need to have this shoe at $99.
Okay.
Okay, you can make a shoe for $12.79. So that I'm making these numbers up,
course,
but
of
you
course.
understand. It's like your T-shirts for the 9 Club.
Yeah.
you can't make a
You
T-shirt
have
with a
a
leather
ceiling.
pocket. There's a ceiling.
yeah.
When I started Buscemi, there was no ceiling. It was like, this is what I want to make. This is how much it costs, and then we'll price it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's pretty much now that we have a little bit of, if we come out with something that's like, all right, man, we can't sell this at this price.
Yeah.
We've had those moments.
Yeah.
This is not going to work. And
really?
then those things don't happen. You know what I mean?
But do you ever think like, God, maybe it could happen?
We've tried to do things at a lower price.
Okay.
And then the thing came out, it's still too expensive. Does that make
Oh, I
sense?
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we made a slide and we had that moment. It was like, damn, man, this thing is so beautifully made. We actually worked on it with a new technology where some of the slides that you guys buy or we buy is like that plastic footbed. It's like cheap.
Yeah.
Shit.
We took that shitty plastic footbed and we drilled holes through it, all the way through it, because we wanted to get air around it. And we did a vacuum. We vacuum sealed the entire plastic inner of that slide in leather. So now you're
Interesting.
slipping your foot into leather and put a rubber sole on it.
Yeah.
Then we did the leather,
Wow.
the beautiful. And it came out, it was going to be like, well, it is. But back then, it was like, damn, this is going to be $300. We were a little nervous, man.
Oh, really?
And it banged. It did
Yeah,
well.
did well.
It did well.
When you're doing stuff like that, or is there like minimums that you have to make and stuff like that? Or
Yeah. With that project, funny enough, yes, but usually no, because the nature of the things that we make and the handmade nature of the things we make, the quote unquote producers in Italy that we work with, they can make 12 or they can make 12,000.
Oh,
It just
wow.
takes
Cool.
time. It's
Yeah.
a time thing.
Yeah.
It's not like,
I'm sure some of those factories look at it as a challenge.
some of the factories in Italy are like, I can't make. It won't make sense if I'm making 1,000 of these.
Okay.
But those are the big boy factories. Those are factories for like the huge billion-dollar companies. We're not
Yeah.
there, so
Yeah,
we
yeah.
work with smaller, kind of like artisan, one-off type of guys that are like, oh. If you do have to make 20,000 of these, we'll figure it out.
Oh,
But we're never, we're in the hundreds. We make hundreds of shoes per style. We don't make thousands,
Interesting. Okay.
In a year, we'll make, 30 or 40,000 pairs of shoes. You know what I mean?
Wow. I mean, Sounds like a lot to me. I mean,
Nah, but when you're working, that would be one color of a shoe at DC. Of of the pure in black, white, you know what I'm saying? That thing's like a banger.
Yeah.
They're selling, I don't know, I think at the height, 14 or 15 million pairs of shoes a year. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of fucking shoes.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? At knees at their height, millions of pairs of shoes a year. Millions.
Damn.
Even fucking, I remember working at DC and Fallen. They were doing like 500,000 pairs of shoes, bro.
Damn.
Crushing it.
Crazy.
Wow.
Inland Empire, heavy.
Oh yeah.
Black socks to the knees. Let's go. Metal Militia, let's go.
That's amazing.
So Buscemi is doing good. You guys are killing it. You guys are killing it.
Yeah, we're in year 5.
Year 5.
Year 5. We've launched women's, we've launched kids. We have 3 retail stores now. We have one in New York.
Yep.
We have one in Las Vegas and Caesar's Forum Shops.
Okay,
We have
sick.
one in Toronto.
Oh, not one in LA.
Nothing in LA yet.
No.
LA's a difficult retail environment, I think. It's it's very hard. I think it's hard to open a store in LA that, unless you're like some huge company that has, disposable income to be able to open a store and not, or, you're on Rodeo Drive or you're on like certain, what we're doing. It's very difficult in my opinion for who's going to walk in this? People just don't walk in a store and buy a $900 pair of shoes,
Right.
So I think LA could be a little bit later down the road and smaller format, maybe.
Okay.
Because what we sell now is like they're in, in Vegas. It's like people are shopping.
And high end.
New York City and Soho. It's we're in the right. LA. It's.
Yeah.
Rodeo Drive doesn't really make sense for me,
Interesting.
Like I don't think that would make any sense.
Huh. Truff.
So Truff is the brainchild of one of my partners, my partner's son and his best friend, basically.
Okay.
They had this idea to do a hot sauce, but they didn't want to do something just pedestrian. They want to do something a little bit luxe.
Okay. You're in that space.
And I'm in that space. I like that space. I like that space.
$900 bottle of
Yeah, the hot sauce is $900. Imagine. Oh my God, it's gold leaves in it and stuff.
Shit gold.
I've been, on the entrepreneurial kick lately, investing in small things here and helping people out and using my time instead of wasting my time. I've been helping people with projects, stuff like that. So I threw a couple bucks and threw some knowledge at them.
Yeah.
I brought in a partner, Aaron Levant, who's from Agenda and Complex Con, formerly. Now he's doing some new big project, but he's also an investor, entrepreneurial type of guy. And he was going to start a hot sauce with his mom. His mom's like super connected lady, and I was like, don't do that. Why don't we all just kind of do it together?
Oh.
And we launched Truff a few months ago. It's funny how hot sauce is very. I haven't been in like the consumable space, the food space,
right?
You can see why there's a line at In-N-Out every day. Of like 50 cars,
right?
Food it's a crazy business.
I bet.
So we've launched the thing 2 months ago, and you already have like. You have like 10 dudes who have ordered it like 5-6 times off the website.
Oh, really?
Ridiculous. Yeah. And then we've engaged. Well, they've engaged with these people, and it's like, you see like testimonials or reviews or like kind of like Yelp review type of things on our website. And it's like, I'm addicted to this shit, and I love it, and
you can kill a bottle of hot sauce real quick.
Yeah, it's funny, and the hot sauce. Even me, I have the promo. I have Truff at the house.
Okay.
Yeah, I've used 2 bottles in 2 months. You know what I mean? And so. Even, you have Tapatio in the house, or if you had Sriracha. Sriracha goes a little bit slower because it's a little hotter. The Truff is cool because it's not so hot. It's just hot enough. And then it has like this super cool truffle. If you're into truffles, you're like,
wow,
you're into that swanky shit.
How much does a bottle cost?
The cost online is $14.99.
It's not bad at all.
That's not, no.
Again, it's not a value proposition. It's actually we priced it because that's what it costs. It has like real agave in it. It has the real chilies in it that are prepared in the correct way, and the oil and the black truffle. You know, it's you're getting the real shit. Man.
Right.
We don't make the fake shit around here.
And not only Truff. Well, I can't wait to try it. Maybe you could send us a nice care package.
I'm gonna send you a care package. Maybe some slides. You guys can walk around with some slides.
I need some slides.
You
Yes,
need
some
some
Buscemi
slides.
slides.
So tight.
Yeah, you need some slides
Kelly has
around
a shoe
here.
sponsor. You can't give him any.
I don't have a slide sponsor.
No, but he has a, but it's
This
a
is
different priced category. You know, he doesn't have a luxury shoe sponsor.
True.
I need some
He has a
$300
skate
pair of
shoe
slides.
sponsor.
But listen, we have slides, some Truff, and maybe a couple sandwiches from Uncle Paulie's Deli.
There you go. There you go.
Give
That's
us a
the
gift
one's
card.
the closest to my heart.
Is it?
Yeah.
Uncle Paulie. So you just opened this deli in Hollywood? No.
Well, I guess the technical term is Beverly Grove.
Okay.
That's the technical term.
Gotcha.
We're,
Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles. We're between Fairfax and La Cienega on Beverly.
Okay.
If you know the Los Angeles
Yes.
area. Right near the Grove.
There you go. Okay.
AKA Beverly Grove.
Beverly Grove.
I've been out here a long time.
Yeah.
And, you got Bay Cities. You got... You got
Which is a great deli.
one of the best delis in the world.
Yeah.
Love it. Then you have, I want to call it 3rd Street Deli downtown. Mm-hmm. You have Claro's. You have other Italian delis in a radius.
Okay.
But how we grew up in New York, and Paulie from Queens, my partner, and me in Long Island, literally every other block is an Italian deli or a pork store or a sandwich shop or some type of Italian market.
Okay.
Out here, it's more like LA's transient. There's there's nothing. The food scene is really just 10 years old in LA. Even less.
Okay.
So you have who wants to drive to Bay Cities every day in Hollywood? It's tough.
Yeah.
And we're like sandwich people. So anyway, the deli was brought to you out of necessity.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those stories, like at a barbecue, literally at a barbecue, like, yo, we should open a deli. Like 2 years later, there's a deli.
No way.
No, seriously, like it's just like one of those classic stories.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Nothing. What are you doing? Well, I got a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Let's open a deli. So I put up some of the money, and
There you go.
Paulie runs it, and we came up with all the ideas together. We brought in this guy, Frankie Pinillo, who owns Best Pizza in Brooklyn. He has actually the pizza show on Vice.
Oh, okay.
He did our menu. He came out and he stayed with us for like a month and worked on the recipes with us.
Wow.
And now we have Austin Taylor in there, who... another, skater down with the Supreme guys, and chef worked at Spago. He's our day-to-day chef.
Wow.
So we have like a real chef making sandwiches that were inspired by like the sandwiches we grew up eating. So it's like a real Italian sandwich, man. It's like, check out Uncle Paulie's Deli on Yelp.
Yeah.
Seriously, so read the review. It's like bananas, the reviews.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I went, dude. It was fucking great.
Oh, you
man.
went?
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
shit. My bad. I didn't know.
Oh no, it was me and Don
Sick.
Brown went.
Okay, cool.
We made it. We're like, oh, we gotta go check it out. We went in. It was good. People were there. Got turkey pesto. It was banging.
So it's like everything that I've done, that's meant anything, is like taking something that we had and like lifting it a bit. So the Italian combo or the turkey pesto, it's like just a little bit nicer,
little bit luxe,
little bit lux than than your average pedestrian shit.
Being the entrepreneur guy, being all these, amazing companies that you've created and been a part of and stuff. Any advice to people out there that wanted to go do? Like you just said, everything's out of necessity and whatever, and passion. But anything you could offer, to some people out there?
I think the best advice I always give is nowadays things are moving so fast, and everyone thinks they're an entrepreneur, and everyone thinks they have a good idea, and everyone thinks that they can go get it.
Right.
But what happens is there's a process involved in all of that.
Okay.
I think the best advice is, and what I saw in my career, is actually go work for someone that has either had success or is on the verge of success or is currently being successful.
Okay.
And steal every fucking thing that they do. Because at DC, which I always say, I got my PhD down there, I sucked that place dry of the fucking knowledge.
Oh, yeah?
I did, man. And I spent 3 years, steal like an artist. But no, there's so many. I even see it. Even my son, he's going to be 10 years old. He wants to start a brand.
Oh.
It's like, that's cool. You know, when I was your age, I was customizing hats and doing t-shirts. Let's start there.
Right.
Like you want to go all the way, like you want to just go fast forward to like the end.
Yeah.
No, you got to spend some time learning some shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's my advice. Like, being an entrepreneur is great. Being creative is great. Being like indie is great. But all those 90% of those people that are like indie and this, and like people like me or people that that have been successful independently, really stole some ideas from other people.
Right.
And that's a fact.
Yeah.
Has anyone given you a piece of advice that you think about like every day?
My mother, God rest her soul, she passed away a few years ago. She never gave me advice. I don't like live off of advice. I feel like I have like this someone like behind me or on my shoulder, like, don't be complacent.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you sitting on the couch? You're on the couch for too long. Like, it's not advice. I have this like kind of like innate
Get off your fucking
motivation
ass.
by my mother really instilled that in me. It was like, if you're not doing, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, it was always like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, if I came home, like if we were skating even like for like 15 hours, she loved it. Like, like if you're in the house, like I've had experiences like people just being complacent.
Okay.
That's the only advice I could give, you know.
Right.
Don't fucking be complacent.
Go out there and do something.
Just do something.
Yeah.
Go and do it.
It's great
Even
advice.
if it's wrong, do it.
Go volunteer somewhere, man.
Yeah.
Even if you have a job that you hate and you want to go do that over there, you got to work at your job for 8 hours and then go like work at that one for free for 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do it.
Right.
It's fucking worth it.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Get off your ass.
Get off your motherfucking ass.
Yeah. When are you going to invest in the 9 Club, man?
Where's the investor package? You had the investor.
Well,
kit
you
here.
know what? I got a PDF. I'll email you.
PDF. Send me the PDF.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for you guys.
Well,
You know,
thanks, dude. Thanks.
You know, when you were very, when you thought you were only going to do 9 episodes and we were at dinner a few years ago,
Yeah.
that was just a bunch of horse shit.
No, but
you guys made it happen.
When we were at dinner and you were saying like, dude, you're gonna kill it with this. Like, I know it. I could already fucking tell. And I was sitting there thinking like, why does he think that? Like, I don't even know why you would even say, because like, we're just talking with skaters. We're just having a conversation.
Well,
like,
first of
why
all,
would
it was-
that
I
be-
understood there was something missing in skateboarding.
It was missing.
Feeling,
It's called white space. I love white spaces.
Okay.
Like empty spaces. Why isn't someone doing that over
Blue
there?
Ocean.
Yeah.
Blue Ocean. I love that.
Yeah.
And it was like, when you said it, I'm already like a podcast weirdo, like psycho. Like
Okay.
I've been, I have any spare time I have, if I'm not reading, which is very rare, I'm listening to a podcast. Like,
Yeah.
I'll have the earphones on at the golf range. In the car, on the plane. If a podcast like dies on the plane because I didn't download the whole thing, I'm like upset. You know what I mean? Like but I knew, because I know podcast world now because I'm engulfed in it.
Yeah.
From a consumer standpoint. And there was like, there's no skate podcast. Who's doing anything? No one's doing it.
Yeah.
Now there's going to be a bunch of clones coming.
There are already. There's a few.
There's a few.
Yeah. So this is our last episode. Other people are coming into our space, and we're done.
We're moving on.
No, but man, this has been fucking amazing, dude.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
What advice can you give me, bro? I mean, if you wanted to, if I my fashion sense, what would you?
You've always had it together.
No, but dude,
you've always had it like just right there. You never over the line.
Yeah.
You're never flagrant.
No.
There's never purple. You kind of just keep it like like gray tones, some denim, black.
And, yeah,
you don't
for
want to
sure.
get in trouble. Just
Air Max, Jordans, or what would you do? No? Jean jacket? Like you?
Maybe a denim jacket.
Denim jacket?
Maybe a denim jacket.
Some
You don't have a
Cortezes.
denim jacket?
No, I don't have a denim jacket.
You should have a denim jacket.
That'd be tight.
Everybody
Nice.
should have a denim jacket. in
I
their-
think everyone should have a denim jacket in the ensemble.
Yeah.
You know
where
what
would
you could
you-
do? You could keep your same aesthetic
Okay.
and just level up.
Whoa, what do you mean?
You can go from the free button down that you got from someone.
From Ruka, yeah.
Ruka is nice.
Mhm. Yep, the good
And then
guys.
you could go, maybe to a James Purse or something,
Interesting.
Like a very soft, maybe longer lasting.
Yeah. How much is a James purse?
I don't know.
Little
You're on your way to making so much money. It doesn't matter.
well, listen, bro. Before I get there, maybe you could put it on the Buscemi card.
We'll take you shopping on an experience episode.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hey, man, thank you so much for stopping by, dude.
Yeah.
Jon Buscemi.
Good times.
Thank you, John. Hell yeah, dude.